Another beautiful fall evening here in Muskogee at Rougher Village, the new home of the Muskogee Roughers, as they try to go 7-0 for the first time in many, many years in another district encounter tonight against the Tahlequah Tigers. Good evening, everyone. I'm Nick Hampton along with Bill Huddleston, and we'll be bringing you the action tonight as the Roughers go against the Tigers. The first time these two teams have played in several years. A great rivalry in the past. Let's see what it'll be like tonight. Roughers trying to go 7-0 this evening for the first time since 1980, so it's been a long, long time. We'll be back and talk a little bit with one of the Roughers tonight as we get acquainted with the Roughers, and then talk with the coaches involved in tonight's game as the Roughers get ready to go against the Tahlequah Tigers here at Rougher Village. You're watching Rougher TV.
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
Your injury recovery goals, plus Excel Therapy's expertise, are your winning game plan. At Excel, our #1 goal is to get you back to peak performance as quickly as possible. Our physical therapy and sports medicine professionals will take you from setback to comeback.
Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Rougher football tonight from Rougher Village, Muskogee at home against the Tigers of Tahlequah. In our first segment, we give you a chance to meet one of the playmakers for Muskogee. Sometimes he's on offense, sometimes he's on defense. Whenever he's on the field, number 28, the Ant-Man, Anthony Watson, is making plays. Anthony, whether you're lined up at tight end, H-back, or put on the defensive side at defensive end, what do you enjoy the most about playing football?
Well, I just enjoy playing defense, just hitting people, getting sacks, all that. It's just really enjoyable.
I know you've set out the last couple of weeks, had to stand on the sideline in practices, just making sure there were no carryover symptoms from a potential concussion. How hard has that been on you for your eagerness to want to say, hey, Coach, I'm still okay to play, and get out there and go?
It has been very difficult. Like, every single time offense, defense made good plays, I just sit back. I just, get mad at myself saying, I wish I was out there, and it just really sucks.
Talk to me about what it's like for you when you are at that defensive end. What are you watching for to know whether to come up the field in a hurry and attack the quarterback, or they have to guard your position?
Well, I really just watch the tight ends and not tight ends to tackle, because they'll really just tell you if it's a run or a pass. So those are my keys. How
do you describe your attack style, the way you trying to punish an opposing offensive player?
Well, I just try to beat them with speed. Then once I beat them with speed, just hit them hard. That's how I say it is.
Okay.
I describe it.
Now, you play on the offensive side as well, in a blocking position many times, but when your number's called, you know the ball's coming your way. How big do your eyes get? How excited do you get when you know that Bird has called your number and it's coming your way?
I get very excited, but at the same time, I gotta try to calm myself down, because if I get too eager, then I start overthinking stuff. So, yeah, I just gotta calm down. And
how do you, when the ball comes your way, what's the first thought you've got when you make that catch and turn upfield?
Just don't drop it, don't fumble.
All right. We also have tagged you, as you well know, the Ant-Man. How does that respond to number 28?
I think it responds good to it, honestly.
You've got a sister that's an All-American. I know she inspires you to greater heights of performance. Tell me about that relationship and what things Big Sis, who's going into the Hall of Fame here this weekend as well, how she inspires you to become a better person as well as a player.
Literally, she pushes me every single day to do better as a person and a player. Her going to the Hall of Fame made me real proud of her, but at the same time, I'm going to get up there too one day. You
want to give a Hall of Fame performance here tonight?
Yes, I am.
Number 28, Anthony Watson, our guest here at the pregame countdown to kickoff, back with head coach Travis Hill. That after this timeout, you're watching and listening to Rougher Football 2022. Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
Ruffer football tonight from Ruffer Village. No place like home. It's Hall of Fame night, and we bring in the head football coach in the Muskogee Ruffers, Travis Hill. No better way to come back to the Ruffer Village than at a 6-0 and 3-0 league mark.
Absolutely. 3-0 with our max points, things that are taken care of in the district. So you can't ask for anything better at this point in time. So we're excited and glad where we stand at this point in time.
Last week, you went into the game against U.S. Grant feeling you had an opportunity to be dominant. The Ruffers were exactly that, 52 points in the first 12 minutes. But now you have to come back and maybe refocus with practice and preparation for an opponent such as Tahlequah?
Yep. The one thing I was very happy with is the way we did prepare for the last two opponents that we probably would, for lack of a better way, that we were supposed to win. We prepared extremely well. Now we're going to get some contested individual efforts. Okay, what do you mean by that, Coach? There's going to be contests going on, single events of linemen, offensive lineman blocking, defensive lineman. Where there's it's going to be contested football games. So it will be interesting. We've had a good week of practice. We're excited about it. We feel like we're well prepared. But our kids have not been contested a whole lot the last 2 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see as they get into a good game with Tahlequah how they handle that.
Ruffers 6-0, 3-0 in district play. Yep. So is Stillwater.
Yep.
Both teams have got the max points. Coaches, you couldn't have it any better as far as the district standings are concerned as we go into the second half of this season for keeps.
No, actually, exactly what we wanted. And again, we talk about this as, Bill, do you look ahead? You're not supposed to do that. Well, who doesn't? Okay. Or, who admits it? Okay. Is a better way to put it. Yeah, we look ahead. That's not because we're being disrespectful. We're just called human beings. We want to see what's out there. So we're sitting in good position. We got some things we got to take care of. And obviously the most important thing is this, tonight, here at Ruffer Village with Tahlequah. So we got to go take care of this. We got to play well. We got to do things right, continue to get better, and things will fall in place.
Travis Hill with us in this segment. We're going to take a brief time out and come back and talk with Chris Reisenhuber about how the Ruffer offense can continue to burn out the lights on the scoreboard. And then a little bit later on, Steve Craver will come in and tell me how the Ruffer defense hopes to continue a current 9-quarter scoreless streak against the Tigers of Tahlequah. We'll be back with more Ruffer football. And after this timeout, you're watching and listening to Muskogee Ruffer Football 2022.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael A. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Welcome back on Ruffer Football 2022 tonight from Ruffer Village. Hall of Fame night, Muskogee at home against the Tahlequah Tigers. A former Tiger himself, offensive coordinator for the Muskogee Ruffer, Chris Reisenhuber. What's your fondest memory of playing Tiger football for Tahlequah?
Oh, there's so many. There's a lot of great memories. I had 3 brothers, so we were all at the games growing up in junior high, and then My oldest brother, Randy, was a quarterback there around 79. I think he started as a sophomore and played his 3 years there. About the time he got through, I was up with, I have a brother, Rick, that's a year and a half older than me, or a year older than me. So he and I played together for 3 years. And then whenever I was up at Northeastern, my little smallest brother, Craig, was the running back for him there. So all through the 80s, there was a Rising Hoover on the field, and really proud of what they accomplished, and proud of what our football teams and my classmates we accomplished there. And then my littlest brother, during my internship year, that was the year they went to the state finals and won the silver ball. So he was a heck of a football player. And just the Qual boys during that era, they were all special kids and very, very tough. And then, of course, Charlie Cooper, the legend, and all the coaches that we had were excellent football coaches. So had things rolling at that time, during that time period, and, just glad I was a part of it.
Let's talk about how the Muskogee Rougher offense has been rolling. You've been putting up 60-plus points the last 2 weeks, albeit not the top-notch opponent, but still you have to execute and make things happen. And I don't think you could have been any more efficient than you were last week. 9 offensive plays, 5 touchdowns from that, plus a field goal. What do you do to keep this offense running at such a high pace?
Well, yeah, the last couple of weeks have been excellent. The kids have really handled themselves well, and we're just an overmatch for the last 2 opponents, but really happy with the way we performed too, because it's whenever that's kind of expected, it's still hard to go out there and do what we did. So things are going to slow down. Our kids have to understand that. There are going to be times whenever we're going to get stopped, in these upcoming games. Tahlequah has an excellent football team. So just understand that, we're not going to score on every play. It's back to, fighting for yardage, and those things are going to happen. But just do what we do, and do it well, and give me all the effort you got. And if those things take place, we're still going to be a very, very potent offense.
When you talk about the offensive game plan, the play calling, the decision-making throughout tonight's contest against Tahlequah, looking at what you expect Brad Gilbert's squad to be like defensively, where are the areas for opportunity and what are those points of concern?
Well, to be honest, whenever I first looked at their defense, and we saw them a lot in the summertime, they do a lot of good things. They stay over the top, which we're a big time, we're a big play offense, so that gives your big play offense a little bit of trouble whenever they keep their back end so deep. And I'm talking about whenever over the top, their corners will be 5 yards over the top of our receivers. As soon as we release, they are belling hard and belling fast, and they have good athletes in the back end. We saw them at team camp in Claremore, and it was a kind of a mixed 3-4. They spun a safety down into the box, and then they really dropped to the seam. So it's really schematically, I see what they're getting to. They constrict their defense against the run game. As soon as they read run, they are putting 8 to 8.5 with their free safety coming down, guys in the box, and then whenever they read pass, they are dropping 8. So on the scheme side, I think it's very sound and understand what they're trying to accomplish. For us, schematically, we have some answers for teams that play like that. That's why we do what we do. So we'll just see how it plays out tonight. I don't want to, I don't want them listening to the conversation, but the things that we do and the way we spin it, it allows for some opportunities to take advantage of the way they react. They react defensively.
A former Tiger, but an everyday Rougher now here in 2022. Chris Reisenhuber, our guest here in this segment. We're going to take a quick timeout and come back and see how Steve Craver and his defensive giants can put another maybe 4 quarters of shutout defensive performance on the field after a 9-quarter-in-a-row scored a streak. We'll talk with Coach Craver about the defensive game plan against Tahlequah. That after this timeout, you're watching and listening to Rougher Football 2022.
Runt's Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts, Runt's Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken, where everything is made from scratch from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Runt's Barbecue, 918-681-3900. Runt's Barbecue, slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905, serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Welcome back on Rougher Football tonight at Rougher Village. Hall of Fame celebration night as the Roughers prepare to take on the Tahlequah Tigers. We bring in defensive coordinator Steve Craver. Got to give you straight A, Steve. 9 consecutive scoreless quarters by this hungry group of defenders.
Absolutely, Bill. Got to give the whole team straight A's. I think from the players to the coaches to what we're doing each and every day. It's good to be working together and everybody hitting on all cylinders. So it's really, really, really good to have that going.
What's been the key to that success? It just seems that every week, regardless of the opponent or the level of competition, things just keep tightening up. Defensive pass coverages, no breakdowns, able to get pass rush, able to control the line of scrimmage. What's been the golden thread that has sewn this thing all together?
I think it's been practice, Bill. To be quite honest with you, we have gotten a lot better Monday through Thursday around here practicing. The kids are competing. I think we're finding some scout team players that we know is going to help us here in the near future that we can lean on and put on scout team to make us get better. And so I think it's happening Monday through Thursday. And then when we get to the game, obviously the opponents that we're playing, it doesn't matter. The guys are practicing and stand on the gas. And so I think that's the result of what you're seeing.
Let's talk about specifically tonight's opponent, Tahlequah, an offensive unit that's not going to be fast-paced. They're not going to try to speed it up. They're going to try to shorten the game by ball control. What things do they do that cause you as the defensive coordinator and our Rougher football players points of concern? And then where can you take advantage and create turnovers?
Formational-wise, those coaches over there do a good job of giving you different formations, different looks so that we can get our eyes in the wrong place or maybe take the wrong step or end up in the wrong gap. And so they do a lot of window dressing. We're going to have to identify who the tight end is, who the fullback is, set the defense, and then from there just kind of make our checks and make our calls. And if we can do that with the pace that they go at, it gives us time to get lined up and get the right call in.
Is there a portion of the game that you feel like if you can take that away from them, that you can be in control and give the Roughers another victory?
Absolutely, Bill. You know what it is. Stop the run, right? It's stop the run. We got to set the line of scrimmage. Our D-line's been doing a great job in these last couple of weeks to just getting better and better. And so if we can establish the line of scrimmage, keep everything in front of us in the back end, I think, and make them earn it all the way down the field, I think that'll be an advantage us, Bill.
I think also, too, the one word that ties it all together, like we were mentioning a moment ago, is to be the most aggressive, most physical group of players on the field, wherever it may be, whether it's in the plus category or on the minus side.
That is exactly right. That's the challenge to these guys. We're going to call it, but we got a good game plan that we feel like to put these kids in a good position. It is going to allow our defense to be physical at the point of attack. So we're wanting to build on that. Hopefully tonight we do that and we come out on top.
Steve Craver, defensive coordinator for the Muskogee Roughers, back with the winning strategy. Head coach Travis Hill, brought to you by Michael A. Finnerty, attorney at law. That after this timeout, you're watching and listening to Rougher Football 2022.
Stop by your local Bravado Wireless store to discover our current plans and promotions.
Well, dude, I didn't see anything.
We're Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Whether you're shopping for a new Chevrolet or want to trade and get paid, power up! It's the Supercharged Sales Event at J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. You know what up to $1,500 more for your trade means? Supercharged savings. Shop more new Chevy. Inventory arriving daily. Don't overpay. Come to see Jay. Get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy now. Supercharged savings powered by J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. 144 West Shawnee.
back in the locker room with head coach Travis Hill just prior to taking the field here at Rufford Village. It's Hall of Fame night. There's some great athletes that have performed in various sports, Travis, being recognized for their accomplishments, and there's no place like home.
No, and we're excited for that. And I kind of take a little enjoyable to this. We do have some Hall of Fame people inducted tonight that are from, I guess we refer to as the old school, even for me. But we got a lot of new ones. 2017, I believe we have three people being inducted. And of course, I was fortunate enough to be here and be part of some of those kids' lives and watch them and some of the influence they played, not only on the court, field, on the athletic endeavors, but also in the classroom. So these are great kids, great people that are coming and getting inducted. And man, it's an exciting night here at home in order to be around that and hopefully come out with a win to kind of put the exclamation point on it.
Well, certainly as a football coach, to see one of your own former players, Cameron Curl, be part of this group, it has to be rewarding for you, but that has to be set aside. We've got to talk about the contest that matters the most, and that's what happens in the next 48 minutes of football. It's a rivalry that should be played every year between Tahlequah and Muskogee. It hasn't been since 2007. Right. What things do you see in the Tigers of Tahlequah, Brad Gilbert's squad, are going to bring in a blue-collar, lunch pail type approach? What do you expect from the Tigers, and what must the Ruffers do to get the winning strategy? Brought to you by Michael A. Finnerty, attorney at law.
Yep. Well, we expect Tahlequah to come in just like they have on all 6 football games. They play hard. They got a game plan. You can watch each and every week what they're trying to formulate and do. Some weeks more successful than others, obviously. But they're going to come in and play hard. We need to be able to take it to them. We need to be out. We need to be physical up front. Very, very physical football team up front. If we can do that and get off to a good start, I think so very, very important. Then it comes down to your typical things, taking care of the football. If we don't let them steal possessions from us, I think then, that when the bottom line comes, that'll be tough on them to hold us in a position to be able to win a football game. Unless, like I said, Bill, we play sloppy or have the opportunity to give them some extra possessions.
That certainly then means eliminating, if not limiting at least, penalties in crucial situations, and then continuing, as you have in the first 6 games, to get contributions that many times have resulted in points from offense, defense, and special teams. Just looking back at last week's field goal for 3 plus the punt return for 6.
Yep. No, those are, special teams is a huge part of the game. Coach has been around for a while. It's a third of the football game, and people always sweep it under the rug. At least the spectator does oftentimes, and doesn't understand the importance of field position and like I said, possession changes. That's when those things are going on. There's a possession change, and you need that football. It's nice if you can make something of it, but the bottom line is you need the football one way or another.
The winning strategy, is there a particular key for Muskogee moving to 7-0 for the first time in many, many seasons?
Well, like I said, we're going to have to go be a physical football team, tackle well, and don't let them have a lot of breathing room. We're going to go about our defense the way we always do: stop the run, and then that can be one-sided. Rise needs to put his foot on the gas, and let's go. Let's get the ball out. To our skill kids and our offensive line being very, very physical. If we do those things, Bill, I think that those are going to give us an opportunity to be 7-0 tonight.
Ruffers look for the Hall of Fame night celebration with the win over Tahlequah. Back with Health of the Ruffers with Leo Krajewski. Brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy. That after this timeout, you're watching and listening to Ruffer Football 2022.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
Health of the Ruffers each and every week brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy, where they get you back in the game. And speaking of getting back in the game, we bring in athletic trainer Leo Krajewski with maybe a little bit of interest for me, Leo, is we talked with the coaches about a shorter week of preparation because it's a Thursday night game versus the traditional Friday night event. That's one less day of practice. How do you as the trainer and your staff have to adjust in the care and recovery of any potential injuries with the Ruffers?
As far as that goes, it's almost we got to kind of get on the kids to make sure they show up for their therapy sessions. They've got to make sure they show up for their treatments. They've got to make sure they show up for after practice treatments. What we end up having to do is we do some extra treatments after practice that we normally wouldn't do because we've got that extra day. But now, hey, since it's shorter time, it's like, okay, when practice gets done, I need you guys coming in for this, this, and this. Basically, you end up having to spend a little bit longer time, a little longer day at the training room and that kind of stuff. That's pretty much about it.
And then, of course, everybody's always concerned about injuries that sideline players because of concussions or potential concussions. How do you monitor that and make sure that the guys are truly ready to play?
Well, what we do here at Muskogee is we have a couple of things that we do. First of all, we do a preseason test. We use what's called the SWAY program. That's the company that we use. And what we do is a test before the season starts. We're going to test their balance, their cognitive skills, short-term memory, those type of things. So we can develop a baseline for every kid. Once we have that, then we have that on file. So say something happens during the season, we can compare at the time of the injury to that and see where they're at. What we also do is we have about half our helmets are what we have those helmet monitors, where we can tell if a kid's been sustained a hit that could possibly cause a concussion, and it also tells us exactly where he got hit, front, side, back, etc. So we have that monitor that each one. I have one of the girls hold that during the game, and they're basically listening for it. Like I said, we have a little alarm. It has a little alarm. The lights go off, the whole 9 yards. So we've been very lucky this year. And then after that, if a young man suffers, or I should say any athlete here at Muskogee who suffers a concussion, has to go through our protocol. The protocol we use was the gold standard. It's used at the NCAA, NFL, FIFA for soccer, NHL, the whole 9 yards. In other words, it's basically a 4-stage process. I mean, they first have to be cleared by a doctor just to start that protocol. And even then, each day is a little bit different. We add a little bit more to it. Like I said, the first day is simply, let's ride a bike for 20 minutes. Can you handle that? The next day, it's like, okay, let's see if you did okay. Okay, let's see if you can go out and just do individual drills, basic things. And each day we get a little bit harder until the final day of the protocol is actually, okay, I want you to go through an actual practice. Let's see how you handle practice. If they can get through the entire practice, no problems, they're good to go. So we basically try to make sure we have multiple layers to protect all the kids.
Leo Kraske, our guest here at Health of the Ruffers, brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy. We're going to take a short timeout. When we come back, we'll check what guys can play, what guys will be under the watchful eye of Leo and his staff. That after this timeout on Ruffer Football 2022.
Your injury recovery goals, plus Excel Therapy's expertise, are your winning game plan. At Excel, our #1 goal is to get you back to peak performance as quickly as possible. Our physical therapy and sports medicine professionals will take you from setback to comeback.
Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Health of the Ruffers brought to you by Excel Physical Therapy. Leo Kraske, athletic trainer. I don't see a very long list of names that can't go full speed tonight or that you'll be watching for in the game against Tahlequah.
Yeah, we're actually very, very healthy. It's very, very nice. Like you said, knock on wood, thank you very much. I appreciate that. No, we're back to full strength. Everybody's looking really, really good. We're actually staying pretty doggone healthy, so I like that. And with this stretch run right now, right before the playoffs, that's the key. That's the key. The healthier we can stay, the better chance we have of going farther.
And all that started with the preseason conditioning and the conditioning throughout the rest of the season to keep you at tip-top shape. Leo Kraske, athletic trainer for the Muskogee Ruffers, our guest on Health of the Ruffers. Back with more Ruffer football. Following this timeout, it's Ruffer Football 2022. Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
Rough for Football 2022 brought to you in part by Cornerstone Funeral Home, J. Hodge Chevrolet, Bravado Wireless, Pioneer Abstract, and by Michael A. Finnerty, Attorney at Law. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Rougher Village, where tonight here on Hall of Fame night, the Muskogee Ruffers look to do something that they have not done since 2007. That's to advance to a 7-0 beginning. Bill Huddleston along with Nick Hampton. Nick, that 2007 season was special. This season's turning into much the same excitement.
Really is. It's kind of a season where the Ruffers started off with a lot of question marks, and they've answered most of them successfully. Don't think there was any question before the season started that the Ruffers would be able to score points, and they've done that as they're scoring 47 points a game. But the defense has been, to me, the big surprise. They've really come in and shut out a couple of opponents, although not great opponents, but they've shut them out, and they're playing great defense. So the Ruffers really on a good roll.
Muskogee in their solid green jerseys tonight with the white pants. Tahlequah in the all-white with orange numerals and those bright tiger orange helmets. Officials meeting down in the center of the field along with tonight's game night sponsor, Jordan Kelly and the family from Serpro. As we get ready for the coin toss, our referee will tell us who got the decision. Tahlequah won the choice, so they have deferred their choice to the second half. Nick, I don't know if that's good news or bad news for the Tigers because Muskogee's offense has been lethal here in the first 6 weeks of the season. I mean, the offense at 47.5 points a ball game and back-to-back 61-plus points per contest, including last week's ironic scoreboard finish 66-0 over U.S. Grant. Muskogee's defense, like you said a moment ago, equally as brutal. But to give Muskogee a first chance to do something offensively, maybe that's just a statement trying to be made by Brad Gilbert and the Tigers. Of course, I think it's the obvious choice. I think if it had been the other way around, Travis Hill would have done the same thing.
Well, Travis, yeah, and when the Ruffers win the toss, generally Travis always defers to the second half. So not unusual, but it will be kind of interesting to see the Ruffers start offensively. Like to see them start like they did last week against Grant and run a couple of plays.
I don't know that I've ever seen 12 minutes of football that is so offensively proficient. 9 offensive snaps, 5 touchdowns from that, along with a punt return for 6, a pass interception for 6, and mix in a field goal. I mean, that's a pretty efficient 12 minutes of football. But tonight it'll be a much different situation, and this is a series that, in my honest opinion, should never have been ended. And it should be something that should be continued even should Tahlequah realign and drop back into 5A. Of course, they're up in 6A this season for the first time since 2007. That was the last meeting between these two squads, Nick, back in 2007 when Muskogee won that game 43-6.
So the Ruffers looking to try and go 7-0. They moved up a notch this week in the rankings from number 4 to number 3. That's the highest they've been ranked since, I think, 2007, something like that. So continuing to go up, and it's all kind of leading down to the end of the season. Next week will be a big test as the Ruffers will travel to S.C. Williams Stadium to take on Booker T. Washington.
Not to take a look too far in the future, though, Nick, because Tahlequah is a team that is hungry. 2-4 on the season, 1-2 in league play. But this is a program that the past 8 years has been an honorable competitor in the playoffs for Class 5A, and they've had to make the step up to the largest classification this season. They've been battled by some injuries to returning personnel. Talking with Keith Wilson, himself a former Rougher, played quarterback and also played in the defensive line in his day, graduating in 1994. This program has been besieged by injuries. They've lost 4 offensive, defensive linemen, combination personnel. That can hurt you in a big hurry.
Well, I'm sure, and it probably kind of affected morale a little bit, having to move up to a class this year. In 5A, Tahlequah was pretty competitive generally the last 3 or 4 years, and they've moved up to 6A this year and found the going just a little bit tougher against the big boys.
The Tigers of head coach Brad Gilbert, his 12th year with the program, will bring an offense that has been averaging 271 points a ball game and scoring right at 20 points per contest, but they have been besieged by a couple of lopsided losses. Last week to Tulsa, Washington, 47-0. Earlier to Wagner, 43-3. Wins over Sallisaw, 38-27, and shutting out PC West in the first week of district competition. But it'll be a defense that has a little bit of pride and a little bit of grit in their step, Nick, because they kind of come with you at hard all the time. I think the terminology that Keith Wilson employs with his defensive group is 9-5-9. Get 9 players within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage 90% of the time. Wilson says when we do that, we can play with anybody.
Well, they've been giving up 31 points a game, so that's something that they really want to try and work on. Muskogee, of course, as we've said, averaging almost 50 points a game. So the Rougher offense rolling on all gears, and they'll get the ball first tonight to see what they can do with it.
Let's quickly set the defensive starting lineups for the orange and black clad Tigers of head coach Brad Gilbert. Cy Fisher will be on one side. Braden Northington, who's kind of a wrecking ball in that defensive group. He was the number that was on the whiteboard in the dressing room as a guy that you better know where he is at all times. The 6'3", 207-pound junior. Cale Schenkel and Adam Arnold will be on the inside of that defensive front. The linebackers, Josh Munoz, Jacob Morrison, Jaden Moore. On the corners, LaShawn Johnson and Dylan Leap. Beckett Robinson, his father was the head coach at NSU as the head football coach for 5 seasons. A very talented, very young athlete, but a very talented athlete, a playmaker on both sides of the football, and Coda Bunch. Those two will be the safeties for the Tigers. For the Roughers, Nick, nothing changes. When you're running this smooth, you just put more gas in the tank.
They are, and the Roughers have maintained the same lineup for the most part the last few weeks. They will get Anthony Watson back tonight. He was out for a week or so with the concussion situation, so he's back tonight. He'll play primarily on the offensive side. And one guy I think I want to watch tonight for the Tahlequah Tigers and see how he does, Josh Munoz, you mentioned him at linebacker. He's also their running back on the offense, so he's one of those guys that's got to have a lot of gas in his tank to go the whole way.
Well, the offense has been very efficient for Muskogee. As you mentioned, 47.5 points a ball game, but even more impressive, Nick, are the 437 yards per game. Offensive line solid. Wes Harvey and Tion Brewer at the tackles. Jace Garrett, Vernon Pepiakata at the guards, and Braden Henry starting every play at the center spot. The Birdman, Jamarian Ficklin, he goes to a bevy of receivers. I think altogether 7 different receivers have had touchdown catches this year, of the 26 thrown through the first 6 weeks of the season. Watson back at that tight end or H-back situation. Jaden Bell, Andre Beasley, and Caden McGee, and then, of course, the running back, Brandon Talbert. The ball is on the tee. It's up in the air. It's a short kick, fielded by the Roughers at about the 25, out to the 30, about to the 32-yard line on the opening kick return, and that's where Muskogee will start. First down and 10. Rougher football this season brought to you by Kyle Edwards Buick GMC, Excel Physical Therapy, My Place, Barbecue West, home of the ever-famous barbecue plate. One of my favorite selections. David Cobb, State Farm Insurance, and Nissan of Muskogee, a proud supporter of the Roughers.
Israel Martin returned that kick for the Roughers, so they'll start at their own 32, first and 10.
Moving from right to left, the Roughers, as we mentioned, in the all-green jerseys. Now they'll sprint to the line of scrimmage. 2 split backs in behind Ficklin. They'll turn, pitch the ball to the edge, coming to the corner near side. Tigers able to string it out just a little bit and force Talbert out of bounds upfield at about the 36-yard line. Jaden Moore, the first Tiger defender to make the tackle. Pick up of, we'll call it 4 from the 32 to the 36-yard line.
Roughers that time, a little unusual look with the bird under center for one of the rare times. Usually operates out of the shotgun.
Latavian Johnson now will be the single back to the left of Ficklin. 2 receivers come left side. Brenton come in motion. Back in the pocket, the left-handed throwing quarterback up the field. Catch made by Jaden Bell at the 50 into the Tiger territory at the 42-yard line. Just waits, and sooner or later a window comes open and he throws a fastball to Bell, who takes it all the way to the 42-yard line in Tiger territory. Good enough for a Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Ruffer, first down and 10.
24 yards on the pass play, first down, Muskogee.
Now the two backs in the backfield. Shift Watson out now into more of a receiver position. Ficklin will take the handoff. He'll give it to Johnson coming left, 40, down the boundary 35, and pushed out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. So it'll be an 8-yard pickup on first down for Muskogee as they started this drive from their 32, and in 3 plays they moved it to the Tiger 34-yard line.
So again, the offense just rolling right along for the Ruffers, kind of where they started and picked up last week against Grant. Not much pressure so far on Ficklin as he's tried to throw.
Beasley and McGee will be the two receivers to the wide side left. Bell now to come in motion. Ficklin will turn, counter handoff inside, lowering his shoulder, weaving his way between defenders, inside the 30, down to the 29-yard line. Goes Latavian Johnson and another Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Muskogee Ruffer, first down and 10.
So Johnson now with 15 yards on his 3 carries for the evening, and picking up the load that Tolbert generally has had in terms of offense. That's good because Tolbert playing, of course, on the defensive side gives him a little more rest if he doesn't have to be the running back.
A lot of the Ruffers wearing those bright pink socks in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month across the country. McGee, Beasley, and Watson, the trio of receivers to the wide right. Handed off inside again. Johnson straight ahead, diving downfield inside the 25, lunging to the 24. You get 4+ on a first down play, Nick. That's just exactly what the doctor orders.
I'd like to see a little deep throw here now. We've set up the run 3 or 4 plays. Time now for a shot down into the end zone by the Bird, I think.
Well, the Tigers certainly aware of the Ruffers' desire to stretch the field. Bell, along with McGee and Beasley, all 3 will be to the right side. Ficklin handing off. Johnson had a block on the edge at the 20, inside the 20, and down to about the 18-yard line.
Good block out there on the edge, as you said, by Bell. Kind of opening, sealing off the defensive end and letting Johnson cut inside.
7-yard pickup, another Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Ruffer, first down and 10. 2 minutes into quarter number 1, no score. Ruffers on the move, having started from their own 32-yard line in 6 plays, now inside the 20 of the Tigers. Ficklin with Johnson to his left, takes the numbers high snap, drops straight back, waits, wants to go deep, has a receiver out there, just overthrows the intended target, which was Jaden Bell.
Had
Beckett
Bell
Robinson
open,
in coverage.
Bell didn't get quite far enough down the field. Ficklin thought he was going to go out a little bit further, and the ball sails a little bit wide on the incompletion, but they did go for broke there.
Second down and 10 from the 18-yard line in Tiger territory. Muskogee at home tonight here against the Tigers, and then next week the trip to S.C. Williams Stadium against the Booker T. Washington Hornets. Now trips go wide left with Johnson, the single running back, to the left of Bird. Handoff goes inside. Johnson hit it about the line of scrimmage, but twisting his body forward downfield. He'll get about 3 on the second down carry. Clock continuing to move, 9:35 left opening quarter. No score. Scoreboard update brought to you by J. Hodge Chevrolet.
Ruffers started at their own 32 and have now moved down to the Tiger 15-yard line in this opening drive of the game.
Ruffers this time will put
Watson way out to the right.
Anthony by himself to the wide side right. Trips come left side. Ficklin with Johnson to his left. Takes the snap, counters outside, on the edge, has a block and throw, has a receiver and overthrows Caden McGee. So Ficklin, who has been on target so efficiently all season long, Nick, has missed 2 open opportunities here in his first possession with overthrown passes.
Yeah, that one is not a real good pass because the receiver had a couple of steps on the angle on the down and out to the corner, and Ficklin just overthrew him.
So now on a 4th and 6. 4th and 7, rather, from the 15-yard line. Ruffers
are going to go for it.
They're going to go for it because if you add the 7 plus 10, that would be a 32-yard field goal try. So 2 receivers to either side. Johnson to the right of Ficklin. Bird will call for the snap. He'll get it from Braden Henry. Stand in the pocket. Wait, rifle the pass. High, caught by Watson. Touchdown! Chris waits, and then at the last minute, Nick sees Watson come off his cut and delivers a fastball. Right numbers high. Watson with the crest and the 6 points. Touchdown, Muskogee. Touchdown, J. Hodge Chevrolet.
Right on a rope he threw that, and Watson was in good position. Just a bit high, but he managed to get his hands up there to haul that one in for the score.
Darian Armstrong, who's been 35 of 38 on the year on point after touchdowns, will come on to try to make this a 7-0 ball game. The ball is down, the kick is up, it's on the money, and Muskogee has the 7-0 advantage with 8:48 to play here in quarter number 1. Muskogee on Hall of Fame night takes the early lead. Back with more Rougher football after this 30-second timeout. This is Rougher Football 2022.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
10 plays, 68 yards, the touchdown strike, the 27th of the season for Jamarian Ficklin, this time going to Anthony Watson, his 4th touchdown catch of the year. And the Roughers go the distance in 10 plays with 8:48 left to go in quarter number 1, leading Tahlequah 7-0.
Well, that's why you want to see the game start as the Roughers roll on the offense, and now let's see what the defense can do, and more importantly, let's see what kind of offensive strategy Brad Gilbert's going to impose tonight for the Tahlequah Tigers to see if they can move the ball against this Rougher defense.
Zapata Lawn and Tree Service, along with Sir Pro of Muskogee, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, Pioneer Abstract, Excel Physical Therapy, and the sponsor of our Rougher Player of the Game, offensive and defensive players of the night, Buffalo Wild Wings. Tonight's game also being televised statewide, Nick, so we're going to have these extended timeouts during change of possessions. 8:48 to play in quarter number 1. Muskogee goes 10 plays for the 68-yard drive. And I don't think there was ever a moment of hesitation on Chris Reisenhuber that he felt his offense could not just pick up the first down but could score.
The Roughers went to third down only one time, and that was on that very last play for the touchdown.
So now Armstrong for the kickoff. High, deep kick that angles toward the sideline as the lights go out. Lights come back on as the receiving kicker took the ball and stepped out of bounds. Now, we may get a request from Brad Gilbert to
re-kick it.
Re-kick this situation, and I can't say as I would disagree.
That would be easy to do, too. Just go ahead and re-kick it. Not a big deal there, so now the officials are going to come in the middle to meet. Referee tonight, Eric Herring, with the white hat, will conduct the discussion down there with his colleagues and see what we're going to do.
Electronically timed lighting display here at Rougher Village. And, Nick, as I stand and look down below us, there's an ever-increasing number of Rougher fans, a sea of green down below. Of course, this is Hall of Fame night. Let's see what our referee will tell us here.
They'll re-kick it. So,
which is the right thing to do.
I think so. You talk about the crowd. Tahlequah brought a nice crowd tonight, too. We were kind of wondering as we got into our pregame, getting ready to go, what kind of crowd we'd have, and they really filled out here the last 20 minutes or so.
And for those who may have had thoughts that this facility wouldn't hold as many people as Indian Bowl, take a look here tonight. We've got a big crowd on hand, and there's still plenty of seats, at least on the visitor side.
Okay, so Darian Armstrong will tee it up and kick it again here.
Roughers leading 7-0. Armstrong kicked this more down the hash mark, fielded by the Tigers at the 16, straight ahead the 20, out across the 25, and up to about the 33-yard line on the return for Tahlequah. Back up the field for the Tigers was Beckett Robinson, a young man that has an enormous amount of gifted athleticism. And he's got the work ethic to go along with it.
Robinson's one of those rare guys. He's scored a touchdown receiving and running and passing all so far this year.
Tahlequah will start this drive with 8 minutes and 40 seconds left in quarter number 1, their first offensive series of the night. The quarterback, Brody Younger, will work out of an empty backfield. Bring motion in Robinson. Hand it off to Robinson going to the left side. Got a seal inside. 35-40, lowers his hood and just takes on the would-be defender right out about the 43-yard line. Tigers did a good job of sealing the edge, Nick, and that allowed Robinson with his quickness to get upfield for the 9-yard gain.
He did, and the Ruffers linebackers outside didn't get out either to help him.
So now Robinson will be split outside the numbers to the left. Wide side of the field to the right comes Ray Stopp, the returning wideout. Another youngster, just a sophomore. Got a lot of playing time a year ago. Now Munoz will line up to the left of Brody Younger. Snap, waist high. Younger waits. He's going to test the Ruffer defense down the field. Throws it long, but well overthrowing Ray Stopp. Ruffers were coming over in coverage that time, Nick. Martell Bolden and Dion Bowler.
Stopp, though, did have a couple of steps on the defenders back there, so a little less air under that ball by Younger may have been a connection.
Younger played in 5 games last season. He comes in with 55 of 90 pass attempt for completion, 8 touchdowns, only 2 picks. So now the Tigers on a 3rd and short, with Munoz to the right, or to the left of quarterback. Just going to be a straight run all the way. Quarterback will take it. He'll have his knees cut out from underneath him, but he'll fall forward upfield to the 44-yard line, and enough for the Tiger first down and 10 on a 1-yard pickup.
Yeah, just a designed run all the way that time by the quarterback Younger, and he gets just what he needed before he had his knees cut out from underneath him.
7:45 in the clock running here at quarter number 1. Muskogee leading 7-0. Tigers with their first offensive series. A split in and a slot wide to the right. As the Ruffers gambling up front, and we're a little overzealous, Nick, and on the first bark from the Tiger quarterback, jump into the neutral zone. So that infraction will cost the Ruffers 5. The Tahlequah will have a 1st and 5 situation. 7:31 to go. Opening quarter tonight from Ruffer Village on Hall of Fame night. Basic same set. Younger will hand it off to Munoz going to his left. He's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
Deshaun Smith in there from the linebacker spot to really knife him down and get him down after a very short gain of only a yard on the play. Or not even actually a yard, just no gain at all. So 2nd down and 5.
So the penalty really doesn't hurt you that much, Nick. It just brings up the same 2nd and 5 call. Stop will be to the wideout on the right side. Younger takes the snap, slant route across the middle, caught by Stop in space. He's inside the 45 of the Ruffers and twisted to the turf at the 39-yard line. A 12-yard pickup on the pass completion, and a Tiger first down and 10, and the Ruffers have an injured player down on the field. 6:53 to go, quarter number 1, 7-0 Muskogee. We're back to Ruffer Village after this 30-second timeout. This is Ruffer Football 2022.
Whether you're shopping for a new Chevrolet or want to trade and get paid, power up! It's the Supercharged Sales Event at J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. You know what up to $1,500 more for your trade means? Supercharged savings. Shop more new Chevy. Inventory arriving daily. Don't overpay. Come see Jay. Get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy now. Supercharged savings powered by J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. 144 West Shawnee.
Ruffers still having their injured player attended to down on the field. 6:32 to go here in quarter number 1. 7-0 Muskogee. Ruffer Football this season brought to you by Kyle Edwards Buick GMC, by Bravado Wireless, the power of connection, by Cornerstone Funeral Home, and by Zapata Lawn and Tree Service.
I think the injured player is Travion Houston for the Ruffers, who's down there on the field now. He's sitting up.
Good to see him at least able to set up and respond, now come to his feet.
Injured Ruffer number 27, Travion Houston.
Houston, a 5'8", 190-pound linebacker that brings a lot of energy. Tigers, as play resumes, will have it at the Muskogee 39-yard line, 1st and 10. Tahlequah tonight. Then next week we'll get to be at home against U.S. Grant. The following week home against Stillwater. We'll end up the regular season at Bartlesville. Running back right behind the quarterback on the bootleg. Younger in the backfield, eludes the first rush, throws upfield, receiver downfield. was looking to throw in the general direction of Braden Worthington, but some pressure in the face of the quarterback forced that pass off target.
So the Ruffers doing a good job there. Or step by step there with race stop, so nothing gained at all, and 2nd and 10 from the 39.
Sand Springs leading Putnam City West early, 14-0. Stillwater in front of Bartlesville, 7-0 in the first. 2nd and 10 from the 39-yard line in Rougher territory. Younger on a slant route across the middle, caught at the 32, breaking out of a tackle inside the 30 and down to the 28-yard line. Making the catch, Ray Stop, the sophomore wideout on the slant. An 11-yard pickup and a Tahlequah Tiger first down and 10.
Well, Ray Stop has been the guy to go to so far for the Tahlequah Tigers. That's his 3rd catch. This was good for 11 yards, as you
Ruffers
said.
going to have to bow their back if they want to extend that current 9-quarter scoreless streak. Hard count up front.
And they jump in again.
And once again, the ever energized Ruffer defensive front jumping into the neutral zone. That was Arion Parrish. He, along with teammate, I believe that is Tion Brewer. So the 5-yard walk-off from the 29 down, or from the 28 rather, to the 23.
Second time in this series, the Ruffers have given the Tigers 1st and short.
Younger on the delayed handoff, handing at the line of scrimmage, pulls it at the last minute, gets on the edge, 20, inside the 20, and down to about the 15-yard line. My eyes were certainly fooled.
Me too.
15-yard line, 1st and 10, Tahlequah.
Good run that time by Younger. Goes all the way to the 15, picking up 13 yards on that possession, Nick. And the Tigers, with the ground game, able to move the football.
So the quarterback coming in, Younger, has carried 28 times for 63 yards on the season.
Darren Spar now the running back. He'll take the handoff, go to his left, break out of a shoulder tick for a tackle, and fall downfield from the 15 to the 14, a 1-yard gain. Spar and Munoz kind of trading opportunities. Spar, a junior, 6 foot, 196-pounder.
He's carried the ball. He and Munoz have been the main ball carriers. He's carried 41 times this year for 223 yards.
2 receivers to the open side right. Hard count by Younger. Nobody moves forward this time. As the Tigers have Gage Matlock out on the far boundary right side. Younger, play action, waits in the pocket, protection is there across the middle. Almost picked up by the Ruffer defender.
Martell Bolden, a good job, get his hand out there.
Stepping right in front of the Tigers receiver in the end zone, knocking that ball to the turf. Clock stops with 4:36 to play in quarter number 1. Muskogee leading 7-0 over Tahlequah. Scoreboard update brought to you by J. Hodge Chevrolet.
3rd and long now for the Tigers. 3rd and 9 from the 14.
Ruffers with some personnel realignments. Come to the line of scrimmage on a 3rd and 9. A big test here for the Muskogee defense.
They almost jumped again offside.
Tigers will go too tight formation. Younger will wait in the pocket. He's in some trouble. Now he eludes would-be tacklers at the 10. Gets to the edge. Going to pick up the first down. Well, all the receivers did, Nick, that time was run off the 2nd and 3rd line of defense. And nobody could get to the quarterback. And Younger carries to the 5-yard line where I think they're going to mark it just shy of the 5, so we'll call it officially a 9-yard gain. So it's 4th and a yard.
Less than a yard.
Tahlequah started this drive at their own 34-yard line.
So this has been a pretty impressive drive. Now they're going to call a timeout.
12th play coming up after the timeout. 4:29 to go in the opening 12 minutes of action tonight from Ruffer Village. We've got a typical Tahlequah-Muskogee battle. We're back in 30 seconds. You're watching Ruffer Football 2022.
Stop by your local Bravado Wireless store to discover our current plans and promotions.
Well, dude, I didn't see anything.
We're Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and the Rougher TV broadcast crew tonight from the Palace on Shawnee. Rougher Village, a beautiful facility, Nick. And now the scoreless streak of the Muskogee Roughers tested here. Tahlequah on a 4th and short. We'll have about a length of the football to go for the first down marker. Now, what will the Tigers choose, Nick? Will they let their quarterback engineer something, or will they just try to pound it straight ahead?
I would say that Younger will keep it. He seems to have found some running room every time he's run the ball so far. And that last play was a very nice one as he made a real good fake and managed to gallop for 9 yards.
Nissan of Muskogee, David Cobb, State Farm Insurance. Two of the proud partners of Rougher Football here on Rougher TV this season, along with our broadcast partner on Okie Country, 101.7 KTFX. Straight ahead stop. Hit at the line of scrimmage, being chased and dragging a Rougher defender. Fumble the football loose, and we'll see who got the ball.
I think it went out of bounds or was recovered on the far sideline by the Tigers.
Beyond the line of scrimmage, beyond the first down stick?
I think, well, they're marking it right at the 5, it looks like.
So the ball carrier coughing up the football on the contact. Now the officials getting down pretty much they're going to have to get knee level here, Nick, to see if this is a first down or turnover on downs.
The ball is right at the sticks over there, so it'll be pretty easy to look, you'd think. Maybe questioning whether, where, or when the ball went out of bounds. If it did, we're not even quite sure it went out of bounds. It is a first down for the Tigers.
It will be a first down inside the 5. Ruffers seemed to have that one stalled, Nick, but the forward fumble and the Tigers recover just inside the 5-yard line. We'll call it officially a 1-yard gain. It'll be first and goal from that 5-yard line.
Younger, 4 carries for 23 yards in the game thus far.
Hard count by the Ruffers. This time not jumping as Younger will walk up right behind his offensive line and will bark out instructions. The quarterback of the Tigers this time going to hand it off straight ahead. Goes the running back and gets to the line of scrimmage and not much more. That middle of the Rougher defense, Nick, is very, very aggressive. Arion Parrish, Fernie Pepiakata, Tion Brewer, Tim Moore, along with the linebacking core. Call it no gain, maybe a 1-yard pickup if you want to mark it downfield from the 5 to the 4. Darren Spar, the single running back, will line up immediately behind Younger. They'll take on the bootleg, coming to the near side, throw to the end zone. It's dropped. Oh, that was a golden opportunity for the Tigers.
That was a touchdown there.
On the rollout by Younger, there is a flag down on the play.
Looks like that was a tackle. Was that a tackle-eligible play?
Well, that's a holding call, whatever it is, against Tahlequah. That'll back it up 10 yards. Still replay, second down. So move it out to the... Wow, from the point of the foul, Nick, this is a bigger foul than just 10 yards because it was thrown at field at about the 11. So they'll place the pigskin at the 21-yard line. So all in all, that's a 17-yard loss.
Yeah.
So now the Tigers have second and goal from the Muskogee 21.
That was a tackle-eligible play they had to run there. Vernon Buckner was the intended receiver. Not used to having to grab that football as a lineman, so that may be one reason he dropped it.
Stop, and Robinson will be to the left side. Younger, play action. Ruffers come off the backside, can't get to the quarterback. Pass is caught at the corner at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown. Braden Northington on the reception. Gave him just enough time, Younger just enough time, and he throws the dart right into the hands of the receiver, and the Tigers score on the 21-yard touchdown strike to pull within a single digit.
Ruffers had that pretty well covered. The defensive back went for it to try and make the grab, didn't get a hand on it, and good concentration by Northington to be able to get that ball and then get into the end zone.
Bodie Chimerson, who's 12 of 13 on point after touchdown tries, will be on to try the game-tying PAT. And now penalty flags fly, as there might have been some procedure up front. Just hesitating, Nick, to guess on what this flag is against. See what our referee will say. It was
I think it's against the
Muskogee.
Ruffers, and they declined it. You don't see that terribly often, a legal procedure against the defense.
Maybe calling signals, you think?
I don't know.
Anyway, they'll retry the kick. Jimerson will try to make it a 7-7 game. Snap is back in good shape. Kick is on the way, and it is no good. Off to the left. So with 3:38 to play, Tahlequah finishes a 66-yard drive on a 21-yard scoring toss, but then missed the point after touchdown. Muskogee leads 7-6. We're back to Ruffer Village after this 1-minute timeout on Ruffer Football 2022.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Runt's Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts. Runt's Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken. Where everything is made from scratch, from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Runt's Barbecue. 918-681-3900. Runt's Barbecue. Slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
As we come back, Tigers roll the dice for a onside kick attempt. The ball was touched right about the 50-yard line. Now our officials will have to determine, did it go the necessary yardage, or did Muskogee touch it and knock it back upfield? Lo and behold, the Tigers roll the dice, and Nick, they don't come up snake eyes. They come up with a 7-11 victory.
Pretty well executed by the Tigers there. The ball just making it to the 50 before it was touched and then kind of bounced around, and the Tigers get on it.
So the onside kick gives Tahlequah right back the football. They'll start from their own 49-yard line. 3:34 to play here in the opening 12 minutes of action at Ruffer Village. Munoz this time will be the running back behind Younger. Two receivers out either side. Younger will take it, drop straight back in the pocket. Under some trouble, and tripped and falls down.
Flag down, too.
Penalty flag there. That might be a
hold against the Tigers. Yeah, Tim Moore was coming in there from the linebacker spot, and they were holding him all over the place in there.
So a loss of 3 on the stumble by the quarterback would bring up a 2nd and 13.
So the Ruffers may decline the penalty and take
we'll
the down.
see.
Let's see.
Officials got it picked up, and he'll decline the penalty. So it'll be a 3-yard loss on first down, bring up 2nd and 13. Clock stopped as they will mark the ball ready for play. Excel Physical Therapy along with J. Hodge Chevrolet and My Place Barbecue West helping to bring you Ruffer football here in 2022. Stop will go out to the boundary left side. Robinson will be outside the hash mark to the right. Younger handing off in traffic. Big running room, go pull it actually, and he'll fall forward across the midfield stripe down to the 49-yard line. Boy, Nick, now temperature's getting short, pushing and shoving going on all over the place.
I think that stems a little bit from all the fracas with the onside kick. There's a lot of
see if these are offsetting penalties or if there was more to it. Steve Craver out calling his defensive guys over. One of the Ruffers that was involved in that fracas that time, Nick, was O'Shea Stevenson.
So the Ruffers, Hayden Kemp's over there talking with Craver along with Bowler as they come over to the sideline.
Go out there and tell your guys to do their job. Now the officials will walk over and tell the Ruffer coach what's happened here.
Oh,
both players have been ejected. I think I didn't get the number of the Tiger offensive lineman, but the officials tossing out O'Shea Stevenson from the game. And Nick, that's not just tonight. That's a potential carryover to next week.
Wow. So players from Joe's sides, it must have been fist flying in there for him to throw them out.
The gain goes from the 46 across midfield to the 49, a pickup of 5. So the Tigers now on a 3rd down and 8. Little bit of chippiness down on the turf. Younger on a 3rd down, rolls to his right. Looking to stop, looking to throw upfield, has a receiver open in rougher territory at the 40-yard line. Making the grab that time was Cale Matlock, the senior returning wide receiver, all the way to the 36-yard line. 13 yards on the catch. Tigers with a 1st and 10, and the offense of the orange and black, Nick, rolling efficiently.
Only the 3rd reception of the year for Matlock, but he does a good job there of scoping out and sleuthing a spot to light and make the catch.
1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Munoz, the senior running back, will be off the right shoulder of Brody Younger. Snap is back and motion up front for the Tahlequah Tiger offense. That's going to back it up 5 on the illegal procedure call. 2:23 left, opening quarter. Muskogee scored on its first possession on a 68-yard drive in 10 plays, but then Tahlequah returned the favor. 14 snaps, 66 yards. The difference, a missed PAT. Muskogee leading 7-6.
Unusual number of flags so far here at this point in the season. You don't usually see this many. Ruffers had a couple in that first Tahlequah drive that helped them have a shorter situation.
Stop and Robinson will be the pair of receivers out wide to the left. Younger will take the snap down the line on the option, pitching back to Munoz, trying to turn the corner, and he has no place to go. This time, upfield pursuit that time of the Ruffer defense. Brandon Tolbert was the guy that stops that one for no gain.
Yeah, good play that time by Tolbert as he pursued from the backside, and Munoz halted for just a moment. Tolbert caught up with him.
So after the 5-yard penalty and the no gain on 1st down, it's 2nd and 15 as we go inside the final 90 seconds of the opening quarter. Tigers will put 2 receivers to either side as Younger stepping up to the line of scrimmage, looking to the sideline, getting that signal package flashed in. Now he'll step back with 3, now with 2 on the game clock, and Tigers were trying to hurry up, Nick, to beat the play clock, and will penalize themselves another 5 yards.
So that'll move them back to the 46.
Costly penalties for an offense that was moving efficiently here in the first quarter.
Second penalty in this series against Tahlequah has backed him up now to 2nd and 20.
This back-to-back offensive series, though, made possible because of an onside kick recovery. Stop and Worthington will be to the left. Robinson at wide right. Younger back in the pocket. Ruffers come on a blitz. Can't control. Younger with a pump fake. Gets to the corner. 40 on his feet at the 35. Finally tripped up on a diving tackle by Dion Bowler.
And then Bowler's run over by Tolbert. I'm not sure the Bowler didn't get the worst of that.
From the 46 downfield to the 31, that'll be a 15-yard pickup. Tigers will have a manageable 3rd and 5 here, needing to reach the 26. Inside the final 25 seconds here of the opening quarter.
Younger's done more damage tonight with his legs than his arms. He's had a couple of real key runs this evening.
Trips go to the left side. Younger out of the gun, going to take the snap, roll to his left, looking to square up, come back. He's in some trouble. He's surrounded and he's crashed in by the Ruffer defense.
Ruffers did a good job there, and I think it was Tavion Houston, who's back in the game after being hurt earlier, made the initial contact, made Younger turn back inside, and then the Ruffers corralled him.
Loss of 5 as the play clock and game clock expire with the opening quarter. After 12 minutes tonight from Ruffer Village, it's Muskogee 7, Tahlequah 6. We're back in 1 minute. This is Ruffer Football 2022.
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Your injury recovery goals, plus Excel Therapy's expertise, are your winning game plan. At Excel, our #1 goal is to get you back to peak performance as quickly as possible. Our physical therapy and sports medicine professionals will take you from setback to comeback.
Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton here with you from Ruffer Village tonight. After 12 minutes, you see the scoreboard on the screen, Muskogee 7 and Tahlequah 6. Tigers missing a point after touchdown, otherwise we're deadlocked, and then got the onside kick, but the Ruffers, with their backs to the wall, Nick, have held their ground here. And when play resumes starting the second quarter, Tahlequah will be facing a 4th down and 10 from the Muskogee 36-yard line. But the numbers offensively for the Tigers here in the opening 12, very efficient.
Yeah, they've done a good job. Younger, particularly with his legs, has pulled them out a couple of times out of behind the chain situations. Other scores tonight: Stillwater leading Bartlesville 13-0 in our district. Sand Springs over Putnam City West 14-0.
So now a punting situation as Beckett Robinson will be back standing around the 47-yard line. Good snap back to Robinson. He's going to run the fake. Tigers have it diagnosed well. Can the Ruffers make the stop? No, they cannot. Robinson on a fake. Pull out all the stops. And Robinson on the fake punt. Able to ramble downfield to the 24-yard line. He needed to reach the 26. And it's a 1st and 10 for the Tigers on a 12-yard 4th down gamble. But wait a minute. We've got Laundry on the field.
Yeah. This may all come back on a hold. Let's see. Block in the back against the Tigers.
So that'll negate the 1st down by Beckett Robinson, and that's got to incense Brad Gilbert, who pulled the ace out of his sleeve that time, Nick, and had the Ruffers backing up. But now the penalty will negate. It'll move it back to the 42-yard line. And it'll be a more, you would think, obvious punting situation. High snap over the head of Robinson. He'll have to retreat back to his 35 to pick it up. Trying to find someone. Now he throws it upfield. It's caught by one of the Tigers at the 50-yard line. He'll be stopped well short. He was able to pick it up and find Braden Worthington on a kind of just a fire type situation, but the fire drill snuffed out at the 48-yard line on the defensive stop by the Muskogee defense.
So the Ruffers get a good break there on the bad snap to the punter, and Muskogee will have a 1st and 10 at their own 48 to start this drive.
That's after the fake punt was erased by a holding penalty. So 2 errors on the part of Tahlequah. Muskogee gets the ball for just the 2nd time tonight at the 11:45 mark of the second quarter. Ficklin to go under center, going to pitch it out on the edge. Ruffers turn the corner, open gap, 50, 45, 40, into open field. Kid Knight! Andre Beasley gets a kick-out block, and the Ruffers take one chance and put 6 on the scoreboard on the 52-yard sprint to the end zone by Andre Beasley.
Great block out there by the Ruffers to seal that off as Muskogee gets the touchdown on the big run by Beasley.
So now Jaden Bell on to try the PAT. Darian Armstrong will try to make it a 14-6 ball game. Snap is down, kicks up, and it is good. Timeout on the field, 11:36 to go in quarter number 2. Muskogee 14, Tahlequah 6. We're back in 60 seconds. This is Ruffer Football 2022.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to NissanandMuskogee.com.
Bill Huddleston, net captain, with you from Ruffer Village. 14-6 in favor of Muskogee after a 52-yard sprint to the end zone by Andre Beasley on the ground. But, Nick, if you're Tahlequah, you've got to feel like you've been snake bit. You run the fake punt, pick it up, but you get a holding penalty. Then on the ensuing play, you snap the ball over your kicker's head. He's fortunate to get it back to the 48-yard line, which was well short of the yard to gain. And then on the very next play, the Ruffers punch you right in the mouth.
Well, they did get a break, though, in their touchdown drive as the Ruffers committed a couple of penalties that helped them along the way.
So now Armstrong will put it on the tee for the ensuing kickoff. It's going to be a little short, high pooch kick, fielded at about the 28, bobbled around, and finally caressed and corralled
by Munoz.
Boy, that could have been a...
He bobbled that, and he sure did.
He had to double clutch it, maybe even a third time. So Tahlequah will get it back for the third time. 11:33 to go before halftime. Halftime ceremonies will include the introduction to this year's Hall of Fame class. 7 members inducted in ceremonies prior to tonight's game here at Ruffer Village. An outstanding collection of Ruffer greats joining the Muskogee Athletic Hall of Fame.
Well, let's see if the Tahlequah Tigers can regroup after that unfortunate series of events that led to a Ruffer touchdown.
Munoz, the running back. Younger will be the quarterback. Robinson comes in motion. He'll line up more in an I formation. Younger on a pitch to Robinson trying to get to the corner. Talbert giving chase. Eludes the first contact. Robinson with a nice change of direction to avoid Talbert's dive at the knees.
But Talbert did a good job to make him cut back inside, too, where he got some help.
Forward progress going to be upfield from the 28 to the 29. Let's call it a 1-yard gain. 11:15 to go before halftime. 14-6 Muskogee. Scoreboard update brought to you by J. Hodge Chevrolet. Now 2 receivers out wide to either side for Brody Younger. Robinson along with Matlock will be the pair to the wide side of the field. Play clock down to 5 as Younger takes the knee-high snap. Hands it off to Munoz, darting inside out, up across the 30-35, and out near the 36-yard line goes Josh Munoz. They'll say the knee touched the playing turf at the 35, so that's a 6-yard pickup, and the Tigers will face a 3rd down and 3.
Caden McGee coming up from the safety spot to get him down around the knees and bring him down after a short gain.
Tigers have been proficient with Younger running the football on previous plays, now a little over aggressive, and the Ruffers, do they get called for the encroachment?
Yeah.
Yep, that's going to be the call. Travis Hill is incensed with the lack of focus on the part of his defensive front, but that 5-yard walk-off will give Tahlequah a 1st and 10. Out to the 40-yard line.
That's the 3rd penalty against the Ruffers that's been accepted. All of the 5-yard version.
And 2 of those, Nick, have resulted in first downs.
2 of them resulted in 1st and short situations for Tahlequah on their scoring drive and helped keep them moving the ball.
You can tell the intensity level of the Ruffer head football coach, Travis Hill. I mean, he was sprinting from the closet out to the turf to shout out words of direction for his defensive front.
Well, the problem, I mean, Tahlequah does that quick count, quick hit, short count every time Younger's up there. He does that as part of their routine, and then he'll look over to the sideline to get the play, and you would think by now the Ruffers had figured out not to jump on that first
Matlock count. Will be outside the numbers. Robinson in the slot to the left. Younger on a 1st and 10 with Robinson in motion across from left to right, back in the pocket, sets up, across the middle, open receiver through his hands, incomplete. Pass just a little bit too tall that time for race stop.
So that'll make it now 2nd down and 15 or 2nd and 10 for the Tigers at the 40.
May have been Jacob Morrison rather than stop, Nick. So either way, it's a 2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line. Tigers this time will put a 3-receiver package out wide to the right. Younger with Munoz, the running back.
3 of 7 for Younger passing so far tonight for 39 yards.
Matlock, Robinson, and Morrison are to the right. Younger rolls the same way, slings a pass, upfield, caught, short of the line to gain at the 49-yard line.
It was Stop again who made the catch out there.
Pass was actually dropped, so he wasn't able to control it going out of bounds. So the incomplete pass will bring up a 3rd and 10. Speaking of 10, that's the time left on the first half clock, 10:08 to go before halftime. Muskogee with a 14-6 lead. Made possible by a one-play, 52-yard race to the end zone by Andre Beasley.
Tigers take a lot of time off that play clock every time. It gets down inside 5 almost every time.
Empty backfield for Younger, wanting to roll to his right, looking to run or throw, waits across the middle, throws short and caught at the 50. They're going to call it a catch. Looked like it might have short hop. Of course, in high school football, you don't have the availability of the video replay. It's caught by Cale Matlock right at the 50-yard line. Good enough for a Tiger first down and 10.
Second grab by Matlock tonight for 23 yards, just what he needed for the first.
Trips open wide to the left for Younger. Munoz remains the single running back. The trio of Stop, Robinson, and Matlock will be to the wide side left. Play clock down to 3, now down to 2. Younger will take the snap, hands it off inside. Munoz with the straight-ahead effort will get in behind his big offensive line and fall upfield for about a 2-yard pickup. 9:20 and the clock running here in the opening 2 quarters of play from Ruffer Village.
Big Vernon in on the tackle there for the Ruffers, among others.
2nd down and 8. Tigers this time will put a pair of receivers to the short boundary right. And we'll have Matlock as the single wide receiver to the left. Now this time, Cody Younger waits on the knee-high snap, hands it off in traffic for Munoz straight ahead. First guy that got there that time for Muskogee looked to be Arion Parrish. The gain going upfield from the 48 to the 45, a pickup of 3. So another crucial 3rd down for both teams here, Nick, to kind of swing the pendulum of momentum one way or the other.
Might look here for Younger. He's handed it off to Munoz the last couple of times. He's been really good about that, and then keeping it himself in some of these situations.
Younger this time will keep it, going to his right, trying to dart outside. He's in some trouble, hit and stopped behind the line of scrimmage. There is a penalty flag thrown from the referee's back bucket.
That's going to be another hold, I bet, against
Younger got downfield to the 41-yard line. He had to reach the 40 to move the chains.
Flag went down right toward the end of that play.
See what our official will tell us. On the Tigers, so the holding penalties have been extremely brutal for Tahlequah here in the first half of play.
That's the 5th penalty against the Tigers for 50 yards, or 40 yards.
So the walk-off will take it from the point of the flag all the way back across midfield and put the ball at the 48-yard line or 47-yard line in Tahlequah territory. So all in all, that's a 12-yard loss in field position and brings up a 3rd down and 13.
Now the Ruffers defense.
Now they're going to move it up a yard. That's all right.
Now the Ruffer defense has got the momentum on their side with Younger in almost surely a passing situation here.
Worthington and Stop will be to the boundary left. Trips go outside to the right. Now quad receiver package. Back in the pocket goes Younger. Throws upfield. Just threw it up for grabs and airmails everybody, but he got hammered.
Travion Houston just leveled him.
Yeah, you're right. He came right in at the midsection and almost divides Brody Younger. The incomplete pass brings up a 4th down and 12.
So this would, you'd think, be a punting situation for Beckett Robinson.
4th and 12, but oh, how penalties have affected this game both ways, Nick, here in the first half.
Really have, yeah.
Offside calls against Muskogee's defense, holding penalties, wiping out huge plays of momentum for the Tigers. Robinson will wait back inside his 35. This time gets the snap, and with the left foot launches it up into the night sky. Jaden Bell just screams, get out of the way of it. It'll take a Tiger bounce and roll inside the 15. They'll see where they mark it. Looks like it'll be about the 11-yard line. Timeout on the field, 7:32 to go in the opening 2 quarters tonight from Rougher Village. Muskogee on top, 14-6 over the Tahlequah Tigers. We're back in 1 minute on Rougher Football 2022. Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
Back at Rougher Village on this week number 7, Muskogee trying to go 7-0 for the first time since 2007, the same year in which they last met the Tahlequah Tigers. 14-6 Muskogee. Ruffers will start this series from their own 11-yard line, 7:32 to go before intermission. Jamarian Ficklin with the running back to his left. Play action, waits in the pocket, throws upfield, little bubble screen underneath, caught by Watson, across the 20, across the 25, goes the Ant-Man.
We have a flag on the field.
Well, the flags are flying like the leaves in my yard, Nick.
This flag is down at around the 17 or so.
And from the response of the players, this one's coming back against Muskogee. So the Ruffers got too many people upfield and an eligible man downfield. 5-member crew of officials tonight: Eric Herring, Calvin Mann, Gary Caleb, John Thomas, and Alan Smith. Herring wearing the white hat.
Ruffers fortunate there, though. In high school rules, unlike the higher levels, there's usually a loss of down on that penalty as well.
So a 5-yard walk-off will make it 1st and 15. 7:25 to go before halftime. Now the umpire will come up and make sure that everybody's had ample opportunity to align themselves. Ficklin from the gun. Little handoff on a jet sweep coming near side. Ruffers blocking on the edge, turn the corner. 15, 20, up across the 25, 30. One man to beat. Still on his feet, Beasley. This one is going to the house. Andre Beasley got a nice block over here on the edge, and once he got a step, Nick, it's hold your breath. Just pray there's no laundry on the turf. And the Ruffers take this one from the 7-yard line, 93 yards. Touchdown Muskogee, touchdown J. Hodge Chevrolet.
I'm not sure. It may have been Watson who threw that block out there, but there were a couple of good blocks on that right side just above the line of scrimmage and really opened up things for Beasley. Once he got up to about the 40, there was no one going to catch him.
So all in all, it's a one-play drive for 6 points. Ruffers did that 5 times in the first quarter. They've done it their last 2 possessions here. Now Armstrong on to try to make it a 21-6 advantage. Snaps off to the right a little bit, but Bell caresses it, puts it on the tee. Armstrong knocks it home, and the score is Muskogee 21, Tahlequah 6. Back in 60 seconds. This is Rougher Football 2022.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Whether you're shopping for a new Chevrolet or want to trade and get paid, power up! It's the Supercharged Sales Event at J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. You know what up to $1,500 more for your trade means?
Supercharged savings.
Shop more new Chevy. Inventory arriving daily.
Don't overpay. Come to see Jay.
Get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy now. Supercharged savings powered by J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee.
144 West Shawnee.
Officially an 88-yard drive in one play, but with the penalty on the preceding snap, it's 93 yards for Andre Beasley and 6 points. Kickoff by the Tigers, fielded by Munoz at the 22, across the 25, the 30. Good return that time by Munoz. He'll get his way out to about the 37-yard line, Nick.
Bowler making the tackle on the play for special teams for the Ruffers.
Hasn't been a thing of beauty tonight as far as the Ruffer defense is concerned, but the offense certainly has flexed its muscles. 21-6 Muskogee. Tigers will start 1st and 10. They'll begin from their own 37-yard line. Holiday is coming up not too far in the distant future. When you're looking for somebody to decorate your home, why not call the man who wore number 7 for the Ruffers, Antonio Zapata, and Zapata Lawn and Tree Service? They can hang your holiday lights and make them shine bright into the night sky. Give them a call at 918-990-0946 or look them up online on Facebook. Back in the pocket, Younger eludes the pressure. Upfield, 40, 45, coming to the boundary and will be wrapped up and ushered out of bounds. But then a late penalty is going to be called against Deshaun Smith, and this one, I know Smith is a zealous player, Nick, but I don't think there was much there to complain about.
Well, I'm not sure if it was Smith or whether it was Bowler.
Nah, it's Smith. He's coming off the sideline being replaced. He'll be met by one of the Ruffer coaches there, but it really just looked like he wrapped him up, and they were out of bounds, the little last-second shove. It'll be a 15-yard walk-off.
So the run is good for about 13 yards, and then the penalty will move it down to the 35.
Well, from the 37 to the 35, all in all, it's a 28-yard difference in field position from the 35-yard line Ruffer territory. Again, Younger with an empty backfield. 3 receivers out wide to the right. Morrison, Stop, and Robinson. Younger will roll to his right underneath, throws in space, caught out at about the 25, still on the boundary, and don't know if he stepped out of bounds. The official says yes, he did at the 22-yard line. Brody Younger's showing a pretty strong arm himself, Nick, able to rifle that pass to a receiver that was coming across the field on the trailing move, and the gain goes from the 38 to the 22, 16 yards, and a 1st and 10.
Robinson, the receiver on that play for the Tigers.
So now trips back to the wide side left. Younger with that empty backfield. Again with a hard cadence, and there's motion upfield. This is going to be on the Tigers moving forward prior to the snap. So that 5-yard penalty will stop the clock with 6:49 to go before halftime. 21-6 Muskogee on 2 big-time runs by sophomore Andre Beasley. Putnam City leading Ponca City 7-3. Sand Springs shutting out PC West in the second, 21-0. No score on Booker T and Grant. Now on a 2nd and 15. Throw the ball upfield. This one is underthrown and caught! Picked off!
What a great
individual effort.
Is that McGee? Who was it?
I think it was Martell Bolden making the pick.
Yep, he's the one dancing around, so he's the one that got it, sure enough. Bolden, that's a 2nd interception for him in as many weeks.
So now the Ruffers will get the football back on their side. They'll start from their own 5-yard line, but they've turned the Tigers away again empty-handed, this time on a costly pass interception. Stillwater out in front of Bartlesville now in the second quarter, 28-7. Ruffers leading at 21-6. 6:42 to go before intermission. Glad to have you aboard on Okie Country 101.7 as well as on Ruffer TV. Well, now let's see what the Wizard of Offense, Chris Reisenhuber, will call on this play. Hand the football. Johnson up the middle through a crease, out across the 10, still on his feet at the 15, across the 20, up near the 24-yard line. Latavian Johnson kind of just bouncing off the flippers. Nick's kind of like the old pinball game.
And the Rougher offensive line doing a great job of opening the holes there. Johnson making it through the line of scrimmage, getting not a touch on him until he got in the secondary. 18 yards on the run by Johnson.
And a Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Rougher, first down and 10. Good to see that offensive line being able to execute the ground game. Ficklin with the running back to his left, twins out to the far side left. They'll bring motion in McGee, hand it off to Caden, going the same side, 25, 30, open field, it's a foot race. McGee at the 50, the 40, the 35, 30, 25, 20, Caden McGee, don't run out of gas, he won't, there's no laundry, yes there is. There's laundry back up field.
That's probably going to be a hold against the Roughers.
It would have been a 77-yard run for 6, but there's a flag down back around the 25-yard line.
Kind of hear the fans.
That block out on the corner, though, might have been
not a good block.
The cause for that penalty flag.
So it'll come all the way back. Just
Tiger coaches were emphatically pointing to the hold.
Just about the line of scrimmage.
So it'll repeat first down, but it'll take 6 points off the scoreboard, and Caden McGee might need a little bit of sideline break to catch his breath.
6th penalty against the Roughers so far here in this first half.
Not the type of execution you want. The flag was thrown at the 24, so they'll move it back to the 14. So all in all, it's a 9-yard minus 6 points penalty against Muskogee. So each team has been hurt big play results by their own fouls.
So give Bell McGee a couple of yards on that carry.
21-6 Muskogee. Now the Roughers will take a timeout, and we will do the same. 5:56 to go before intermission. Roughers up 21-6. We're back in 1 minute. This is Muskogee Rougher Football 2022.
Stop by your local Bravado Wireless store to discover our current plans and promotions.
Well, dude, I didn't see anything.
We're Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Muskogee hurts itself again with a costly penalty, this one taking 6 points off the scoreboard, which would have been a 77-yard run for Caden McGee. It'll replay the first down at the 14-yard line. Ficklin in the pocket, little quarterback draw straight ahead, has a blocker, cuts off that block at the 25, gets to the edge, still on his feet, he'll be hit, and the ball came free, scrambled down on the sideline. Tigers say, we've got it. See which way this will go. Did Ficklin's knee touch the ground prior to? Officials are going to keep the ball in Muskogee's possession. As the Birdman, next time, straight ahead on the run from the 14 out to what will be marked the 28-yard line. He gets 14 yards on that quarterback keeper.
Nice block thrown by Johnson out there, too, to help Ficklin get to the outside.
Clock running, or will run, when they mark the ball ready for play with 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go before halftime. Johnson, the running back, he'll move over to the left of Ficklin. McGee to come in motion. They'll counter, hand it off inside. Johnson, little shake and bake move, eludes the first would-be tackler and weaves his way up across the 30 out to about the 32-yard line.
About a yard short of the first down, looks like.
4 yards on the pickup, needed 5 to move the chains. Whenever you need insurance, remember the man to call is your fast, fair, and friendly State Farm Insurance Agent, David Cobb. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. 918-682-2511. State Farm Insurance Agent David Cobb, ready to help you. 3rd and a yard to go. Ficklin just on a quarterback keeper, trying to get a
gets what he needs.
Quarterback push from behind, Nick, and he'll use his ability to crawl his way up to the 34-yard line. Needed 1, got 2, and a Kyle Edwards Buick GMC rougher, 1st down and 10.
Ruffers do a good job there of getting what they needed. A couple of scores of local interest. Medill over Fort Gibson tonight, 44-6 in the second quarter. Hilldale, no trouble, 21-0 over Sallisaw.
Twin receivers left and right for Ficklin. Straight drop in the pocket. Throw back, short side of the field, caught by McGee. Has blockers, leading the way, eludes the tackle, but a great open field effort that time by Jaden Moore. McGee was ready to go, Nick, but Moore slicing his way through, stopping Caden at the 40-yard line. A 6-yard pickup on 1st down, 2nd and 4.
Well, we'll take 6 on 1st down. That's a good way to move and give you more possibilities for your next call.
Long, steady look at the sideline as Jamarian Ficklin, the extremely talented sophomore quarterback who came in with 26 touchdowns on the year, has added 1 here tonight. Ficklin takes the waist-high snap, slings it out in space, caught by Jaden Bell, dancing his way upfield across the 45. He'll have the 1st down and some. Being shoved out of bounds upfield at the 48-yard line. The 8-yard pass and yards after catch effort by Bell will give Muskogee a Kyle Edwards Buick GMC 1st down and 10 at the 47-yard line.
Bell with 3 catches, 47 yards tonight. Ficklin having a nice night. He's got 56 yards through the air, but Ruffers have done it primarily on the ground where they're over 200 yards rushing so far.
7th play in this series. It started at the 5. Ficklin going to keep it himself, slide out of the initial contact into Tiger territory down to the 48-yard line. That'll get 5 yards for the Birdman. Going from his own 47 to the 48 on the opposite side, Kyle Schenkel in on the stop for Tahlequah's defense that has a little bit of a rougher touch, Nick, with their defensive coordinator, Keith Wilson, a 1994 Muskogee High grad, in charge of the 959 Tiger alignment. Ruffers have to go to the 43-yard line to stay in front of the chains. Ficklin will roll to his right, squaring up the shoulders, looking, waiting, throwing the ball downfield, trying to find McGee, who got pushed out of bounds. This one's not going to count.
Flag, though, I think. Is that? Yep.
There is a flag down. There may have been too much hand checking going on by the defender.
I think kind of, as you said, he kind of pushed McGee out of bounds, and I think that may be the call here.
Officials will come back up and confer with their officiating partners. Been a lot more flags here tonight, Nick, than we've had recently, to see what the referee will call.
There's 2 penalties on this play, 1 on each team. Ineligible downfield, offense. Pass interference, defense. Those penalties offset at the Louis play, 2nd down.
So Muskogee guilty of the illegal man downfield. And then the pass interference call, the 2 plays will offset, and we'll replay the down, 2nd down and 5, 3:02 to go before halftime tonight from Ruffer Village.
Both coaches, I'm sure at halftime, we're going to talk about penalties. There's way too many penalties for a game past midseason.
Beasley and Johnson will be the 2 running backs as Ficklin will go up under center on a 3rd and 5. Turn, play action, give it off in traffic to Johnson, running head on into a would-be tackler and driving his body forward down near the 1st down yardage. Appears to be about a half yard short. Now the official on the other side, they're going to mark it, and officials will say 1st down and 10, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC at the Tahlequah 43-yard line. Give Latavian Johnson a 5-yard pickup.
Nice effort by Johnson to keep going and get that extra yard he needed.
2:42 and counting. Ruffers trying to maneuver a 95-yard scoring drive. Ficklin with a running back to his right. Takes the snap, gives off to Johnson. Not quite as much explosion that time by LJ as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Getting up there quickly was Josh Munoz and Jacob Morrison for the Tigers. 1-yard pickup downfield of the 42. generous spot that time for the Ruffers.
Rod Johnson, 11 carries for 63 yards tonight. Has been kind of the workhorse for the Ruffers, although Beasley's gotten the glory on his 2 long touchdown runs.
This time the Ruffers will go empty with twin receivers left and right. Ficklin out of the gun, waits on the snap from Henry. Takes it, waits, looks, throws, second choice. McGee off his fingertips, incomplete. Caden McGee is going to be thinking all night long about that gifted miss opportunity because he was wide open in space at about the 25 and just didn't zero it in.
He just looked up before he had the ball tucked away to see if anyone was coming and went right through his hands.
That hurts because that's a situation that would have given you a fresh set of downs, stopping the clock with 1:52 to play before intermission.
4 of 7 passing for Ficklin for 53 yards.
Watson will be out as a receiver to the short side left, along with Johnson. Trips come to the wide side right. Ficklin in the pocket underneath bubble screen, caught by Beasley, 40, and shoestring tackle right about that spot, but he'll fall downfield to the 37-yard line.
Great stop Morrison, the linebacker, making a nice open field tackle.
So a stop at the 37. The Ruffers will need to go to the 33 to move the chains. Clock running with 90 seconds left to go before halftime. Ruffers will roll their own dice, feeling they got the confidence in this offense to get the first down. Bring motion. Handed off on the jet sweep. Bell, 35-30. Outside on the block from McGee, 20. 15 down the sideline and pushed out of bounds by Robinson. But what a block on the backside from Caden McGee to give Bell the sideline and the dance to the 6. Muskogee Ruffer first down. Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Ruffer first and goal to go.
31 yards by Bell on the carry and a first and goal.
From the 6-yard line in Tiger territory. Ruffers trying to go north to south, end to end to put points on the scoreboard before halftime. Clock stopped as Bell was knocked out of bounds by Robinson, who made the touchdown saving play. Bell this time will go to the wide side left. Watson will be in a slot, and Beasley will be the same side of the field. Now the Ruffers appear to have a little bit of a confusion in their play set, and they'll call a timeout. We'll do the same. 1:10 to go before halftime. 21-6, Muskogee threatening here at Ruffer Village. Back in 1 minute on Ruffer Football 2022.
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Your injury recovery goals, plus Excel Therapy's expertise, are your winning game plan. At Excel, our #1 goal is to get you back to peak performance as quickly as possible. Our physical therapy and sports medicine professionals will take you from setback to comeback.
Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine, with 16 locations and no physician referral.
Short timeout as we return to action. 1:10 to go before halftime. Excel Physical Therapy, a proud partner to Ruffer Football. Johnson to the left of Ficklin. Ficklin pulls it out of the belly, keeps it straight up the gap through the parting of the orange seas and into the end zone. Touchdown, Muskogee. 95-yard touchdown, capped off by the Birdman. Jamarian Ficklin on the quarterback keeper, and the Ruffers have extended their advantage to 27-6 with the PAT from Armstrong set to follow.
Ficklin with a nice run. That's his third of the night. Gives him 22 yards on the ground.
6-yard touchdown run coming at the 104 mark here of the first half. Ball down on the PAT, and Armstrong's extra point try is good. 28-6 Muskogee. Let's take a 30-second timeout and return to Ruffer Village here on Hall of Fame night and on Ruffer Football 2022.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Back on Ruffer Football 2022. Nick, you got any plans for the weekend?
Yes,
it's fall break.
I am going to be.
I think you're going to be toting the Pride of Muskogee around, aren't you?
Toting the band up to Branson Saturday. Yep.
Well, while you go there Saturday after my college football endeavors, I may try to make a trip out to the west side to My Place Barbecue West and try to see which choice I'm going to make from the menu. Will it be the barbecue plate? Will it be the sliced beef sandwich? Or will one of their talented waitresses, two of which are in our broadcast booth here tonight, convince me to go all-you-can-eat barbecue ribs? What do you think, Nick?
I think you'll do ribs. I think that's really your secret favorite.
So here's the kick by the Ruffers after the touchdown. Caught at the 20 and up across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Yeah, I'll probably try the all-you-can-eat barbecue ribs. Good tasting stuff. Put some barbecue beans, some potato salad along with that. Big glass of that sweet tea. Good stuff. My Place Barbecue West, a friend of Ruffer football. Good to see our longtime buddy Steve Braun in the reflection off the glass. Brawny making his trip up from
nice to see
East Texas to check out the new Ruffer Village.
All right.
28-6 Muskogee. Tigers will have it. They'll say he stepped out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Younger in the pocket, going to throw underneath route this time. Just throws it too hard off the intended receiver's hands. Was trying to throw the ball that time and in the grass.
Jacob Morrison was the intended receiver, but it was, like you say, wasn't too far down the field, and Younger just rifled it into him too hard.
That'll stop the clock with 58 seconds left to go here before halftime. Younger, this time with the running back off his right side, takes the snap, hands off in traffic, dancing outside. This is Spar, 35, up near the first down marker. Appears to have it. The officials come in and say the knee touched at the 39, but that's exactly where he had to go. And a 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the Muskogee 39-yard line. Clock showing 51 seconds to go before halftime.
See how attacking that Brad Gilbert's going to be here in the final minute.
Younger will take the snap. He'll play action, throw out in space. Caught by Beckett at the 40, lowers his shoulder, drives out of a tackle, breaks another one. Down the boundary, still free. This young man's got a lot of get up in his play.
And he got a good block out there, too. Right at the point of the
They say he stepped out of bounds at the 50-yard line, Nick. That appears to be where they'll place the ball back upfield, but nevertheless, it'll be a Tiger first down. And then there's a penalty flag at the end of it.
Cash McIlvain was in at the tight end spot that time and made the block.
So the late hit penalty on the Muskogee Ruffers will put Tahlequah at the Muskogee 35. Here still with 37 seconds left to go. Tigers will go no huddle. Younger will step up. He'll stare to the sideline. Darren Spar, the junior running back, will be the single back along with Younger. Direct snap. Younger's going to keep it himself, come upfield and be chased down from behind by the Ruffer defender.
Tim Moore, I think, pursuing that time from the backside, making the tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play, and a timeout will be taken by Tahlequah. 22 seconds to go before intermission. Muskogee 28, Tahlequah 6. We're back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2022.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
Well, the tune is the same. The words are obviously different, Nick. Both Tahlequah and Muskogee having the same musical tune for their high school fight songs.
That's interesting, isn't it?
I wonder if as many kids from Tahlequah don't know the words to the fight song as the Muskogee students do.
You're just not going to let that go.
I'm never going to let them forget it till they sing it. 2nd and a yard to go. Younger in the pocket. Blitz coming off the corner. Breaks to the outside. Now wants to throw back to the short side of the field. There was nobody there. Was Younger outside the pocket?
I thought he was outside the pocket myself. Officials are talking about it now.
Pass ruled incomplete. Stopping the clock with 25 seconds left to go before halftime.
And that's what they're going to say, I think.
The vocal Rougher fans down below letting know their displeasure.
Referee Eric Herring talking it over. Now he'll let us know, I think.
He drops it. Grounding will be the call.
Yep, they do.
That's a loss of down as well, Nick.
So
now it'll be third down with 25 seconds left. And they'll move the football back upfield to the 42-yard line. So all in all, possession-wise, it's a 7-yard loss, but also a play opportunity taken away. The ball at the 42-yard line, and Tigers looking for some sort of golden needle in this haystack.
Yeah, now they've backed themselves way back now. They were really moving the ball well there, coming down to the close of the half. But now
Dakota Bunch will be one of the receivers to the wide side left, along with Beckett Robinson. Now they'll walk the penalty, the full 10 yards.
I didn't think they went back far enough.
So the ball will be marked back to the 47-yard line. Third down. Younger in the pocket. Ruffers come up the middle. Don't close the backside gate. Younger with a shake and bake move, and then he'll be open field stop. And upfield, we've got a little bit of extra stuff going on.
Now the fans are...
And there's a penalty flag across the way as well.
Where he threw the ball. Now he was obviously well out of the pocket there.
17 seconds left to go. This game's getting a little bit more of a chippiness to it than I'm sure either coach would like.
I think they're talking it over whether the ball got back to the line of scrimmage or not, maybe.
Get your rule books out. Follow along with the guys wearing the stripes.
Yeah. The fans aren't happy about that.
Well, they're not happy about this wrestling match that was going on well back upfield. So the incomplete pass brings up fourth down. And Beckett Robinson will be back to punt.
Well, Brad Gilbert's not going to be happy about that because the Tigers were moving the ball well, getting down close to the red zone, and then penalties again hurt them.
Snap back, good shape to Robinson. Quickly the kick, it's high, it's short. Bell will let it take a Tahlequah big bounce inside the 5 and roll to a stop at the 3-yard line. With 0.7 seconds remaining here tonight in the first half. This might just be a knee and go to the dressing room up 28-6.
Yep, I would think so, unless they break one like one of those long runs by Beasley or somebody that can get into the secondary.
Speaking of Andre Beasley, he's already got a couple of tickets in the player of the game ballot, that's for certain.
Yeah, he's got 145 yards on the ground on 2 carries.
So see what the master of offense, the Wizard of O, Chris Reisenhuber will opt to do here on this last second play of the first half. Ficklin with motion, going to hand it off on the jet sweep. Try Beasley again, coming to the corner, breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2, still on his feet out to the 14-yard line, and that'll bring us to zeros on the first half clock. After 2 quarters of play, Muskogee survives the upset-minded Tahlequah Tigers here in the opening 2 quarters and have built a 28-6 advantage here on Hall of Fame night 2022. We're going to take a quick 3-minute timeout and return to Rougher Village. That after this break on Rougher Football 2022. Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
Whether you're shopping for a new Chevrolet
or want to trade and get paid,
power up! It's the supercharged sales event at J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. You know what up to $1,500 more for your trade means?
Supercharged savings.
Shop more new Chevy. Inventory arriving daily.
Don't overpay. Come see Jay.
Get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy now. Supercharged savings powered by J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee.
144 West Shawnee.
Stop by your local Bravado Wireless store to discover our current plans and promotions.
Well, dude, I didn't see anything.
We're Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905. Serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Welcome back to Rougher Village here on week number 7 of high school football 2022. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton here with you. Ruffers at the break, Nick, using an explosive ground game, some cross-country jaunts, and some big play opportunities, and have a 28-6 lead on the scoreboard over the Tahlequah Tigers.
Well, Andre Beasley's been the big guy tonight for the Ruffers. 3 carries for 157 yards. 2 of those cross-country jaunts of 52 and 93 yards for scores. Meanwhile, Latavian Johnson's been a good workhorse tonight too. 11 carries for 63 yards for Johnson.
On the opposite side, Brody Younger, the quarterback, has kind of engineered a successful first half, albeit his team hurt their chances with some costly penalties.
Yeah, Younger's been the leading ground gainer for the, well, I say that, close. He and Spar both have around 30 yards on the ground tonight. Munoz with 24, so they've spread it around pretty well. Younger, though, not quite as successful as far as his throwing is concerned. 64 yards tonight on 13 attempts, and 6 of 13 passing for
28-6 is our halftime score, Nick. We're pleasure to kind of pick up some of the sights and sounds of the Pride in Muskogee, the Ruffer Regiment, who's presenting their contest show. We'll give you a little bit of the musical entertainment here at the break as the Pride performs here in front of this Hall of Fame night crowd. Muskogee band performing here at halftime on Hall of Fame night, and an ever-growing number of musicians. It takes what it takes, and that's the message being delivered by Mike Sisko and the band leadership, and the students have responded affectionately in performing here tonight. Some of the sights and sounds of the Pride of Muskogee Rougher Regiment here on Hall of Fame night. Muskogee leading 28-6 over the visiting Tahlequah Tigers. Back after this 3-minute timeout. This is Rougher Football 2022.
Runt's Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts. Runt's Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken. Where everything is made from scratch, from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Runt's Barbecue. 918-681-3900. Runt's Barbecue. Slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Your injury recovery goals, plus Excel Therapy's expertise, are your winning game plan. At Excel, our #1 goal is to get you back to peak performance as quickly as possible. Our physical therapy and sports medicine professionals will take you from setback to comeback.
Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Roughers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence. Pride of Muskogee continuing their Pride of Muskogee continuing their halftime performance. Nick, let's run back through the results of the opening 2 quarters of play. Muskogee took the initial series, starting from their 32-yard line, and finished the 10-play drive, 68 yards on the 15-yard scoring toss. The 27th of the year for Jamarian Ficklin, this time to Anthony Watson on the 15-yard completion. It was 7-0 after Darian Armstrong's PAT. Tahlequah responds. A little trickeration on their own part, but then Younger to Robinson on the touchdown strike of 21 yards. The PAT was no good, and it was 7-6. Tahlequah comes right back, goes to the onside kick, gets it, moves it down the field, goes for it on a fake punt, Nick, and has the first down picked up at about the 31-yard line, only to have it wiped out by a hold, and then on the ensuing kick, a high snap, and the Tigers unable to pick up the downs. The Muskogee Ruffers started from their own 48-yard line, where it was one play, Beasley, 52 yards on the sprint to the end zone with 11:36 to go in the second, 14-6 Muskogee. Tahlequah again would threaten Nick, moving into Ruffer territory, into the red zone, only to have penalties bite them once again. The ensuing punt goes to the 11-yard line, and then to the 12, a 5-yard procedure penalty moved it back to the 7. Once again, it's the speedster Andre Beasley exploding upfield, 93 yards, a one-play, officially 88-yard scoring drive, but the race to the end zone, 93 yards for Beasley, and the Ruffers had built a 21-6 advantage. Tahlequah getting the next possession back, has a first down in Ruffer territory, but a pass late thrown by Brody Younger, picked off by Bolden, and the Ruffers would start 1st and 10 from their own 5-yard line. That interception, though, Nick, was a unique one-play snatch out of midair that gave the Ruffers the possession at that point.
Bolden went up high. He was down close. I think it was, inside the 10-yard line, somewhere in that neighborhood. Went up high right in front of the receiver and made a spearing one-handed grab to come down with it. Big interception, stopping yet another Tahlequah drive.
6:42 to go before halftime. The Ruffers starting from their own 5. This time it would be the Bakers' dozen 13-play drive, 96 yards, finished off on the 6-yard run by Jamarian Ficklin to give us our 28-6 halftime score. Nick, tonight here at Indian Bowl, earlier today over in the Rodney Milam Fieldhouse, the 2022 Athletic Hall of Fame class was inducted to the Muskogee Athletic Hall of Fame, and some very well-known names from different eras. We'll go all the way back to a 1958 graduate, a former Muskogee High School football coach, and a member of the Hall of Fames at Shakota, as well as the Oklahoma Coaches Hall of Fame, Ray Grandstaff, who always was an interesting conversation. And anytime you sit down and talk to Ray, it wouldn't be a short conversation, that's for sure, because he made you feel at home.
He was a funny guy and a great assistant coach, and our longtime friend Curtis Brackeen, who was with us for so many years, talked about he and Ray Grandstaff and the times they had on the staff.
Another inductee comes out of the wrestling program, an ice fighter, Lonnie Barker, who's had not only a successful wrestling career, he had 114 wins in 127 matches. It's pretty impressive.
Pretty good, yeah.
And he said he probably lost more matches in practice than he did in competition against others. Went on to the University of Oklahoma, where he was an All-American as a freshman. He followed his college wrestling career, pursuing his love for music and becoming a national recording artist and two-time Grammy Award nominee. He also founded Top Notch International and Lion's Den Studios. And what I'm also impressed with is the fact that Lonnie continues to give back. He and his wife support some scholarships for Muskogee High School seniors. So from whence you come, you return, and you pay it forward. And that's exactly what Lonnie's been doing, and he was a great wrestler for Bobby Jefferson's Ice Fighters.
Yep, right, it was. Big era right there through the time he was wrestling that the Ice Fighters really got their name.
2 players from the softball ranks, Aubrey Johnson and Alexis Watson. Obbs was a 2016 graduate, a 4-year letter winner with the Ruffers, and a 3-time All-Conference performer in both fast pitch as well as slow pitch. She went on to the University of Central Florida, had a distinguished career there, and now, after completing her exercise science and her Master's of Science in Occupational Therapy, she resides in Johnson City, Tennessee, where she works as an occupational therapist. The girl who had the biggest smile especially when she parked one over the left field fence. Alexis Watson, a 2017 graduate, a standout performer for the Lady Ruffers softball teams, helped take Keith Coleman's squad all the way to a state runner-up finish in the state finals. She was a 4-time all-conference selection, female athlete of the year. Following her career at Muskogee, she went to Southeastern State in Durant, where in her first and only year, she was named the MVP and the outstanding female athlete on the Durant campus. She transferred to Rogers State and was an integral part to Rogers State's winning the 2022 NCAA Division II National Championship, and she's working on her doctorate of physical therapy at Langston University. And then another inductee is a young lady who's now in the coaching ranks, a 2008 graduate, Heather Davis. Played for Lucky Tarkington here in Muskogee, as well as for Angie Hillman. Then went on to the University of Missouri, Kansas City from 2008 to 10. 2 years spent at UCO. Then she stayed on with the Broncos women's basketball program for 8 years as an assistant. And she's currently an assistant basketball coach at Southwestern Oklahoma State in Weatherford. And our final inductee tonight that we'll mention here at halftime is Cam Bam. Cameron Curl, a 2017 graduate, had an outstanding career as a Muskogee football athlete and as well as in track. Went on to the University of Arkansas, where he played for 3 years. Left Razorback country after his junior year, moving on to the NFL, and everybody said that's way too early. Well, let me just tell you, in his short time now with Washington, he has become the number one safety, has the number one safety ranking in the National Football League. This is all from the guy that had a big smile every time he crossed the end zone while wearing that number 2 jersey, Cameron Curl. So the 7 inductees: Aubrey Johnson, Aaliyah Wilson, Alexis Watson, Ray Grandstaff, Heather Davis, Lonnie Barker Jr., and Cameron Curl into the class of 2022 Muskogee Athletics Hall of Fame. Nick Hampton, that's some pretty talented individuals there that have contributed to the past of the Ruffers. Muskogee's football team trying to contribute to their own successful venture here tonight with a pretty impressive first half despite some of their own costly mistakes.
Yeah, your Hall of Fame inductees down on the field right now as they're reading all the accolades of those that you just read off, and so they're being presented to the crowd tonight. Taking a look at the stats here in the first half of play for the Ruffers, they ran 27 plays in the first half, had only 8 first downs, 19 rushes for 275 yards. So the Ruffers really just kind of backwards from the way they've operated the first 6 games, where they've done it mostly through the air. Tonight it's been on the ground for Muskogee. Only 5 of 8 passing, just 8 tosses for Jamarian Ficklin tonight, 58 yards. So the Ruffers with 333 yards in offense here in the first half. Penalties, 7 for 60 yards for the Ruffers tonight. 33 plays for Tahlequah in the half. They had 12 first downs, 20 rushes for 95 yards, only 5 of 13 passing for Brody Younger for 64 yards. So 159 yards in offense for Tahlequah. They hurt themselves too with penalties, 7 for 52 yards. Penalties, a bad key interception down inside the 10-yard line really stopped several Tahlequah drives tonight that could have resulted in some more points for them. So, and they had 7 penalties, as we said, 52 yards. Beasley, the leading ground gainer for the Ruffers, 3 carries, 152 yards. Spar and Younger, both with about 30 yards on the ground tonight for the Tigers.
28-6 Muskogee in front. Some other scores in district play involving Ruffer opponents of past and present and future. Stillwater leading Bartlesville 35-7. Sand Springs shutting out PC West 21-0. And I didn't know this until tonight, but the Oklahoma City School District does not have a fall break, Nick. So U.S. Grant entertaining Tulsa, Washington. That game will be played tomorrow night there at CB Spiegel Stadium. Some other games in 6A1, Union leading Mustang 29-7, but 2 other teams of familiarity, Broken Arrow at Bixby, Jinx at Southmore, both those games to be played on Friday night. Then some other scores. McAllister leading East Central 47-7, that's at the half. Hilldale shutting out Sallisaw 28-0. Medill giving Fort Gibson more than they can handle. The Wildcats lead the Tigers 44-6, and perhaps, to me, the biggest shock, it's inside the rock wall, down deep southeast corner of the state. And the Poto Pirates, one of the top-ranked teams in Class 4A football, find themselves trailing the Broken Bow Savages by a count of 14-0.
So we know that the Hornets will be rooting there for the Broken Arrow team, or Broken Bow team, to pull that victory out after Hilldale had to go down there and play last week. So that would be kind of put that district in topsy-turvy if that continues to hold up. But Ruffers having a good first half here as the team's now filtering back out on the field for their 3-minute warm-up time before the second half starts.
Some other scores from Class A. Gore Pirates, who went in 6-0, are well on their way to a 7-0 start. They leave Central Salisaw 58-0. That's now just into the third quarter. Ketchum leading Hulbert 38-0. Although Flora County bragging rights, Panama leading Pacola 22-8. But here tonight at Ruffer Village, the primetime game tonight here on Hall of Fame night, Muskogee with a 28-6 advantage over the visiting Tahlequah Tigers. We're going to take our break. We're going to take a 3-minute timeout and return to Ruffer Village with more Muskogee football action on Ruffer Football 2022.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Whether you're shopping for a new Chevrolet
or want to trade and get paid,
power up! It's the Supercharged Sales Event at J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. You know what up to $1,500 more for your trade means?
Supercharged savings.
Shop more new Chevy. Inventory arriving daily.
Don't overpay. Come see Jay.
Get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy now. Supercharged savings powered by J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee.
144 West Shawnee.
Stop by your local Bravado Wireless store to discover our current plans and promotions.
Well, dude, I didn't see anything.
We're Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905, serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Runt's Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts. Runt's Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken, where everything is made from scratch, from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Runt's Barbecue, 918-681-3900. Runt's Barbecue, slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota, and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Back at Indy Bowl, just about set for quarter number 3 to begin. Tahlequah won the choice to further possession to the second half. Ruffers will kick off. Tigers will field from the 20. Robinson will take it to the left side, the 25, off a block up across the 30, and race to about the 38-yard line, where Tahlequah will start their first offensive possession here of the third quarter, moving from left to right or from north to south. Nick, I just almost can't believe my eyes when I look out and see the facility from which we are playing tonight and think about how well designed this facility is, how much of a pat on the back needs to go to the voters of Muskogee who stepped up a couple of years ago and voted in that multi-million-dollar bond proposal.
Very nice facility, you say the very least, yeah.
Brody Younger, junior quarterback. We'll have the running back play action, going to throw it out in space. Catch is caught. The Ruffers come up quickly and make this tackle.
Bolden made the first initial contact and made Robinson kind of cut back inside, and then he got help from Travion Houston and others.
38 to the 39, a pickup of 1. 2nd and 9 for the visiting Tigers of head coach Brad Gilbert. A year ago, we're 7-4. This is the 25th meeting all time between the two schools. Two receivers wide to the left as Younger will step out and shout out some signals to his offensive line. Josh Munoz remains the single setback. They'll hand it off to Munoz, darting to his left. He's able to get forward progress across the 40, out to about the 44-yard line. That would be a 5-yard pickup off the left side.
Tolbert on the tackle for the Ruffers there to bring him down after the gain to the 44. Brings up a third down, still about 4 to go.
Stop will be the single receiver out to the far left outside the numbers. Matlock will be to the right side as Younger on a 3rd and 4. Needed to reach the 47-yard line. Waits in the pocket, has time to cross the middle, airmails his would-be targeted receiver, which that time was Cale Matlock, and he had a little bit of heat in his face as well, that being Younger.
Travion Houston was in his face as Younger tried to pass the ball, and I think that kind of altered his throw. He had to throw it over Houston, and that made it go high.
Jaden Bell will stand inside the 30-yard line to wait the punt from Beckett Robinson. Sophomore averaging about 29 yards per kick on the year, but Nick, he's been more effective than that here tonight. He'll take the snap running to his left, and with the soccer-style play, will kick it away. Takes a Tahlequah bounce and will be touched at about the 23-yard line, looks like.
24-yard line.
So the Ruffers with their first opportunity here in this third quarter. Be interesting as I'd like to see what the discussion was in the locker room at halftime. I just didn't think the Ruffers, particularly on defense, had quite the focus that we've seen before. Too many penalties, the onside kick that got away, and Tahlequah inside the red zone several times in that first half.
Robinson's 32-yard punt puts the Ruffers in possession from their 24-yard line. Ficklin on a knee-high snap, hands it off to the running back coming near side.
I think that's Tolbert.
I believe you're right, Dick. From the 24 out to about the 28-yard line. Looks like it's going to be a 4-yard pickup on first down. Nice to have the ability to interchange Latavian Johnson and Brandon Tolbert. And then when you can bring Speedy Beasley in there.
Yeah, it gives you quite a variety.
2nd and 6. Beasley and Bell will be the package to the quarterback's left. Watson and McGee to the right. Bird takes the waist-high snap, play-action series, zings a pass upfield, caught by Watson, 50, and into Tahlequah Tiger territory. Boy, that is a welcome to return to the offense. The tight end, Anthony Watson, with the catch and run, going from the 28-yard line across midfield. That's a 23-yard pass and run. Kyle Edwards, Buick GMC, first down at 10.
Just a deep slant by Watson on that play.
Now Watson will join Bell on the left side. Ficklin will hand it off. This is Tolbert looking for a block. Didn't get much of a crease, but he's able to slice between would-be tacklers and fall forward to the 47. But I think Ruffers going to get called for a block in the back.
Block in the back or a hold right there at the point of the tackle just about. It is a hold against Muskogee.
Flag was thrown right about the 49-yard line. 9:26 to play here in the third. Ruffers with their first offensive series after leading 28-6 at the intermission.
So the penalty moves it back to the 40 of the Ruffers.
You lose 11 yards on the holding from the spot of the foul from the previous place. So at the 40-yard line, needing to go to the opposite 39. 1st and 21. Beasley and McGee to the wide side right. Play action. Ficklin waits in the pocket underneath. Caught by Watson. 45. Got a nice block from Brayton Henry. 50. 45 into Tiger territory before he's stepped out of bounds.
Just short of the first down, it looks like. Well, I'll tell you what, once Watson gets that head of steam up, he's a load to bring down. Gets from the 40 of the Ruffers to the 40 of the Tigers, 20 yards on the pass and run.
2nd and a yard to go with the clock running. 9:07 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Ruffers tonight here at home. The schedule says Thursday, Nick, but it will be next Friday at S.E. Williams Stadium when the Ruffers will take on Tulsa, Washington. So now 2nd and a short yard to go. Talbert to the right of Ficklin. They'll do the double fake, wait for Ficklin, time to throw downfield, looking for Bell. He's behind the defender and the ball tipped away at the last minute. But there's, I think it's a flag. Yeah, it is.
I think defender, as that stop back there who was defending on the play, got a hand on Bell's shoulder, I think is what they're going to call.
Pass interference is going to be the call against the Tigers, so that'll move it from the 40 downfield to the 25 by penalty. And a Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Ruffer first down by flag.
8th penalty tonight against Tahlequah, matching the number that the Ruffers have.
I wonder if you ever drive out on North Main by Kyle Edwards Buick GMC and you see Cecil Kendall and a couple of guys out there flagging you down to come in and look for a great price on a newer used vehicle. 1st and 10 for the Ruffers from the Tahlequah 25. This drive started back in the Muskogee 24. Ficklin waits in the pocket, little shovel pass underneath. Talbert with the catch at the 20, at the 15, bounces off another would-be tackler. Still on his feet, the 10, the 5. Good night, Irene. Touchdown, Brandon Talbert. Touchdown, J. Hodge Chevrolet.
You talk about pinball action like we did earlier with Johnson. That's exactly what that looked like. Watson bounced off a couple of would-be tacklers, found himself open around the 15 and just motored in.
That is the 28th touchdown pass of the year for the sophomore quarterback, Jamarian Ficklin. 8:52 to go. Ruffers go 76 yards in officially 4 plays plus a penalty. The extra point is no good. And the score will remain Muskogee 34 and Tahlequah 6. We'll return after this 1-minute timeout. You're watching Ruffer Football 2022.
Runt's Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts, Runt's Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken, where everything is made from scratch from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Runt's Barbecue, 918-681-3900. Runt's Barbecue, slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Back at Idiot Bowl on the kickoff, the ball goes out of bounds, so that'll give Tahlequah new possession with 8:51 to go here in the 3rd, but the Ruffers have added to their advantage 34-6 on a 5-play 76-yard drive. The final scoring toss on a 25-yard touchdown connection. Brandon Tolbert doing the pinball wizardry, working his way through a sea of Tiger tacklers into the end zone.
Nice job by Tolbert as he just bounced off a couple of guys and went right in.
So now it'll be the Tigers' challenge to respond, as Darren Spar will be the running back this time, along with Brody Younger, the quarterback, in the backfield. And now sideline fish are going to come in, and what do we got here?
No, I got the Ruffer staff about a third of the way out of the field out there.
The ball out of bounds would be marked at the 35 on the kick.
There's some question, though, from the rougher sideline about what's going on here.
Eric Herring, Calvin Mann, Gary Caleb, John Thomas, Alan Smith, the 5 officials tonight.
Well, they're just moving it to the middle of the field.
Okay, so instead of on the hash, they'll put it on the middle of the field. So with 8:51 to go here in the third quarter, Tigers get it back for the second time here in the period. Brody Younger back in the pocket, go throw, pass on the drag route to the tight end across the field. Eli Gibson, the intended target, the junior fullback. The incomplete pass on the wide toss. It'll be second down and 10.
Now the Roughers have forced Tahlequah now to have to go to the air to try and catch up, and that's not really Younger's strong suit.
Well, that's what the Rougher defensive game plan was forced to do, was to put the Tigers into kind of a one-dimensional offense. Spar will be off the left shoulder of Brody Younger. Play clock down to 2 on the snap. Little option pitch out to Spar, trying to find a blocker. Rams himself into a would-be tackler at the 40 and powers his way up to about the 45-yard line. Very close to the first down, if not enough. It will be good enough on a 10-yard pickup for Tahlequah. First down and 10.
Trying to see who that was. And he ran over. It was Tolbert that he ran over there.
That doesn't happen too many
I was going to say, that's pretty good. You can knock Tolbert off his feet.
Spar, a 6-foot, 196-pound junior. Ray Stop will be the single receiver to the boundary left. Younger, this time on a little play-action series. He's in some trouble being chased out on the edge. He'll turn upfield and get wrestled out of bounds at about the 46-yard line. Ruffers that time doing a pretty good job of stretching it to the boundary short.
Rougher line doing a good job, the defensive lineman stringing that out, not letting him get to the outside, holds him to a 1-yard gain.
Tigers are pretty big across that front, especially on one side. Mashko and Whitmore both in excess of 300 pounds. 228, 288, and 251 on the opposite side. Second and 9. Beckett Robinson along with Cale Matlock will be to the right side. Ray Stop out outside the numbers to the boundary left. Younger, this time handing off to Spar, going to his left, trying to drag a rougher tackler, and reinforcements come in a hurry. But a nice second effort that time by Darren Spar. He'll cross the midfield stripe on the 5-yard pickup. I'll leave the Tigers with a third down and 4. 7:47 to play, third quarter. Muskogee 34, Tahlequah 6. Scoreboard update brought to you by J. Hodge Chevrolet.
Tigers taking their time here, being down. No hurry to get the plays off.
Empty backfield with a trio of receivers. Robinson, Matlock, and Morrison to the wide side right. Matlock will take the snap, drop straight back in the pocket. Under pressure this time, there's no room to escape. Rougher defense comes crashing down.
Travion Houston made the initial hit there. Got him by the ankles, slowed him up, and then help came in other forms to drop him for a loss on the play.
Yeah, back from the 49 in Rougher territory to the 47 on the opposite end. So it's a 4-yard loss, but more importantly, it's another punting situation. Beckett Robinson doesn't just stand one kick, Nick, but he uses his soccer skills to put the ball up high into the air.
He's got good variation. He can do it either way. He did that rugby kick last time. He's kicked a couple just straight away.
High snap again. The Robinson will field it. He'll just launch one up into the air. Ruffers will field it at the 28. This is Jaden Bell trying to create his own magic. He'll get it out to the 33-yard line where it will be first down and 10. 6:32 to go here in the third. Ruffers have scored on their only possession of the night here in the third on a 76-yard drive on the 25-yard scoring toss and run. Ficklin to Brandon Tolbert. 34-6, looking to increase their advantage tonight over the visiting Tigers. Muskogee leads the all-time series 18-5-1. Johnson and Bell will be to the left side. Ficklin on an empty backfield. Sets up, throws underneath on the screen. Ruffers run away from the tackle. This is Watson. Nice individual effort that time by the Tiger defender. As Watson made the catch. Coda Bunch making the stop, holding Watson to only a 3-yard pickup to the 36-yard line. So now the Ant-Man along with Caden McGee will go to the left. Bell and Beasley out in the slot to the left side. Beasley going to come in motion. They'll counter. Hand it off to Beasley. Cuts inside of a would-be tackler. Breaks another one. At the 40, lunging forward up to about the 41-yard line goes Andre Beasley. Talk about a slice and dice type move by Beasley. Able to elude the containment and then squirt his way free for a 5-yard pickup.
Bunch again with kind of maybe a touchdown saving tackle there. Just got him by the ankle and slowed him down enough.
The Ruffers face a 3rd down and 2. Have to go to the 43. 5:30 and counting here in quarter number 3. Leading 34-6 over Tahlequah. Beasley and McGee are to the short side right. Empty backfield for Ficklin. Takes the snap, pumps once, throws the slam. Bell has the catch at the 50. Stutter steps and then gets corralled by a host of tacklers for Tahlequah. Well, that'll go from the 41 on one end to the 45 on the opposite end. That's a 14-yard pass completion. Ficklin to Bell and a Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Ruffer 1st down and 10.
Ruffer starting to pile up the passing yardage a little bit more now. 143 yards passing for Ficklin tonight.
McGee will be by himself to the right side. Beasley, Bell, and Watson come to the left. Handoff goes inside. This is Latavian Johnson off a block on the edge, and a penalty flag going to be called on Beasley. I think he's going to get called either for a hold or a block in the back, as the run by Johnson goes downfield to about the 31-yard line.
There's also another flag down here at the sideline, so we may have a couple of penalties here.
So they'll take it from the one furthest upfield, which is back out at the 47. Actually thrown in the rougher backfield, so that'll move it back across midfield to the 43 on the opposite end. 12 yards difference in the field position. 4:45 to play in the third. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and our Ruffer TV crew doing another excellent job of giving you the sights of the high school football Friday night flair here from Ruffer Village.
Now they move the ball back up to the 48. So that is the 9th penalty against Muskogee tonight. Much too many.
So put the ball, and it's all in all a 7-yard loss in field position. 1st and 17. Ficklin, play action, waits, just stands tall, waits, stride, upfield, caught. Just had all time to throw, and waiting on Andre Beasley to step in front of the would-be defender. That's LaShawn Johnson trying to match up against Bees. The catch will be made at the 29-yard line in Tiger territory. More than enough for a Kyle Edwards Buick GMC. 1st down and 10.
23 yards on the pass play, and Ficklin just waited and just threw it right on the line to Beasley.
So now the Ruffers will put Watson, Beasley, and McGee to the short side right. Johnson off the left hip of Ficklin. Ball fumble, loose on the turf, bounding around. There's nothing but a sea of orange there to fall on top of it. Now this will be a scrum to see if Ficklin was able to get the ball, which I don't think he's the guy.
Somebody, though, for the Ruffers got back on it.
Got to see who comes up off the bottom of the pile. One of those offensive linemen alert, able to see the loose ball. That time it was Jace Garrett, the senior, able to fall on it back at the 37-yard line. So it's a loss of 8 on 1st down. Ruffers have been a little just off kilter a little bit tonight, Nick.
Yeah, they have.
Makes you kind of wonder, were the last 2 weeks too easy? Bell, McGee, and Beasley to the wide side left. Ficklin takes the snap, steps in the pocket, waits, throws downfield. Looking for Beasley, the pass just a little bit overthrown.
Ficklin had some people in his face that time too, as he kind of launched that off his back foot and really wasn't able to get quite the line on it he wanted to, had it put it too far up in the air.
3:23, the clock stopped on the incomplete forward pass. Ball will be replaced at the 37-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 18 for the Ruffers. This time trips come to the left side. Johnson off the right shoulder of Jamarian Ficklin. Sophomore quarterback takes the snap, waits on his offensive line to give him protection, floats it upfield, looking for Watson, just a little bit overthrown. Good individual coverage that time by the Tigers. The guy that was in coverage was J.J. Antoine.
So 4th down and a mile for the Ruffers from the 33, and Ficklin will go back to punt.
Well, once again, a wasted opportunity because of a penalty, Nick.
Yep.
So Ficklin, who's had very few punts this season, he does average 43 plus per boot. Will wait the snap at the 50, step up and launch it up into the night sky. Kind of a short kick. But now it takes a huge Muskogee bounce and will cradle its way down to the 6-yard line as we get a timeout on the field. 3:04 to play here in the 3rd. Muskogee leading 34-6. We're back in 1 minute on Rougher Football 2022.
Your injury recovery goals, plus Excel Therapy's expertise, are your winning game plan. At Excel, our #1 goal is to get you back to peak performance as quickly as possible. Our physical therapy and sports medicine professionals will take you from setback to comeback.
Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael A. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, Social Security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton with you from Ruffer Village, home of Muskogee Ruffer football here in 2022. 34-6. Muskogee on top of the visiting Tahlequah Tigers here on Hall of Fame night. And again, congratulations to those 7 inductees to the Hall of Fame. Aubrey Johnson, Aaliyah Wilson, Cameron Curl, who, by the way, is playing in the NFL tonight at Chicago with the Washington Commanders, Ray Grandstaff, Lonnie Barker Jr., Heather Davis, and Alexis Watson, whose brother's having a pretty good night here as well. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from their own 6-yard line. Tigers will put a trio of receivers to the boundary short left. Bring motion across the formation. Back in the pocket, Younger has a receiver. Robinson out there. He beat the coverage, and Beckett's going to take it to the house. Ruffers that time got caught looking upfield. Aiden Kemp was the guy supposed to stay with Robinson. And it's a quick strike, 94-yard touchdown toss. Brody Younger to Beckett Robinson. Tahlequah has its 2nd score of the night.
Well, that's kind of what we were talking about earlier. The defense just hadn't been quite focused in tonight. And like you said, maybe it's the last 2 games that have been pretty easy for them. And so they just haven't been quite fully focused, and that's what happens when you look upfield.
So now on to try the point after touchdown will be Bodie Jimerson, who missed on his earlier attempt. 34-12. This would make it 34-13. The snap down. The kick this time is on the way and good. 2:51 to play in the 3rd. Tahlequah on its own one-play scoring drive. This one on a 94-yard touchdown toss to make it 34-13. Ruffer still leading the Tahlequah Tigers. Back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2022.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael A. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, Social Security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
Back at Rufford Village, 2:51 to play here in the third. Tigers on a big play, scoring one play possession, cutting the gap to 21, 34-13. Ruffers tonight here at home. Next Friday night, not as it's on your schedule, a Thursday night game. We'll travel to Tulsa, S.E. Williams Stadium. Ruffers against the Hornets of Tulsa, Washington. Nick and I will be there to bring you the play-by-play action. Tigers to kick off. Again, it's a short pooch kick. It's a live ball as the Ruffers will pick it up on a bounce at about the 33-yard line. Not sure I would have let the ball bounce, Nick. I think I would have tried to catch it. The Ruffer guy that was there off the special team was Israel Martin, but he got two good hands on it.
Did a good job to realize the ball was live and get on it as quickly as he did.
2 minutes and 48 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Cornerstone Funeral Home, Bravado Wireless, Pioneer Abstract, just three of the many partners for Ruffer Football 2022. Beasley and McGee are out wide to the left, or to the right rather. Talbert, the running back, taking the exchange, dragging tacklers upfield from the 33 out to what will be the 36-yard line on the first down carry. Host of tacklers coming up off the bottom of the pile. One of those including the linebacker, Jaden Moore, the junior, who the leading tackler for the Tigers here in 2022. Came in with 45 stops on the season through the first 6 games.
Well, I imagine we'll see the Ruffers with a big dose of running now as much as they can.
2nd and 7, going to run the jet sweep, coming back to the near side. This is Beasley trying to stop, and when he put on the brakes to change direction, he got punished. Beckett Robinson coming up and making the open field stop on Caden McGee.
So McGee trying to do the Beasley thing, stopped and tried to reverse field, and Robinson zeroed in on him, and he gets up to the 30, actually loses a couple.
Lost 2 yards back from the 36 to the 34. With the clock running inside of a minute 50 here in the third, and Muskogee leading 34-13. So now McGee and Beasley will be out wide to the right. Watson in the slot. Bell to the boundary left. Ficklin, little quarterback draw, has a blocker in front of him. 40, 45, midfield, into Tahlequah territory to 45. At the 40, breaks another tackle, still on his feet. He'll step out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Okay, you want to press coverage? You want to go man-to-man? We're just going to kick you out and let the Birdman fly.
38 yards as he carries that ball. Made a couple of great busted tackles on the play and gets down to the 27.
To Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Ruffer, first down and 10 on the 38-yard scamper by the Muskogee sophomore quarterback. A minute 25. The clock stops as they'll mark it ready for play on the snap. Out of the snap, little pitch back. Coming near side, Ruffers trying to stretch it to the boundary. That's Tolbert.
Didn't get much out of that, as Tahlequah did a good job of not letting him get to the corner.
Done a good job of, for the most part, anything to the edge, really dragging things out. No gain on the play by Tolbert. Quite warm day here, Nick, for this late in October. 2nd and 10 for Muskogee from the Tigers' 27-yard line.
Clock stopped on the out of bounds with 1:18 to play here in the third.
Ficklin now will go up under center. Play action, double reverse, going back to Bell, trying to find the corner, looking for a block, cuts off at one at the 25, and his feet at the 20, falls downfield inside the 20 to about the 17. Tahlequah did a decent job that time, Nick, stretching it out, but the blocking allowing Bell just to crease, and the vision of Jaden Bell able to get him downfield to the 18-yard line. 9-yard pickup, third, and a yard to go.
Ruffers fortunate they weren't called for the hole there, as
yes,
McGee had a hold of a jersey out there.
So now with Bell, Beasley, and Watson split to the left side. Ficklin out of the gun. Pumps once underneath screen. Caught by Tolbert at the 15. Brandon at the 10. At the 5. He sees goal line, and he gets it. Brandon Tolbert on that little underneath bubble screen, and the wizard of offense, Chris Reisenhuber, making the proper play call. And Ficklin to Tolbert delivers for the third touchdown connection tonight. And the Ruffers have added 6 more to the scoreboard.
Tolbert coming through with his second touchdown in this half. And now the Ruffers open the gap significantly here with this touchdown.
18-yard pass and run combination. Darian Armstrong to try to add the extra point. The kick is a chip shot through the uprights, and with 34 seconds left here in the third quarter, Muskogee has expanded its advantage to 41-13 over the Tahlequah Tigers. Back with more in 30 seconds. This is Rougher Football 2022.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
34 seconds remain here in the third quarter play. Muskogee has added 2 touchdown connections. Ficklin to Tolbert, 1 of 25, the most recent of 18-yard combination, and the extra point by Armstrong makes it a 41-13 advantage. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and the Rougher TV crew tonight from Rougher Village.
Ruffers tonight have just done it all offensively. A couple of nice little shovel short passes to Tolbert, who's broken 2 or 3 tackles on both of his touchdown runs.
So now Armstrong will put it on the tee. He'll approach with a down the middle of the field kick, fielded at the 13. Tigers on the return, out across the 25, across the 30, to about the 34-yard line before Aiden Kemp makes the stop on Beckett Robinson.
So let's see what the Tigers will do now. It's almost certainly you would think they're going to have to go to the air to try and somehow get back into this game, starting from their own 35 on this series. Fourth time they've had the football this half. And they'll have time for 1 or 2 plays maybe before time expires here in the third quarter.
Mark the ball ready for play from the 35. Brody Younger with the running back, Darren Spar, directly behind him. Play action series, waits in the pocket, steps up from behind, got hammered as he tried to pass the football. Never saw the guy from behind bringing the energy. That was Travion Houston. Incomplete call on the pass play. Fortunately, that wasn't a separation of possession, Nick, on the contact.
So good job there by the Ruffers secondary or linebackers, and probably Tahlequah fortunate that might not have been intercepted after he was hit just as he threw it.
2nd and 10. Younger handing it off to Spar, running to his left. Deshaun Smith making the contact, pushing the Tiger ball carrier out of bounds at about the 37. A net of 2, and the clock will stop with 16 seconds left as the play goes out of bounds. (41-13) Muskogee on top, forcing the Tigers to another 3rd and long.
This is exactly what the Rougher defense wants. 3rd and long and got a pass.
Matlock, Robinson, and Morrison will be the 3 receivers to the left. Now Matlock Younger going to drop back. He's in some pressure. Gets off of a sack in the backfield. The Rougher defender just being held on the ground by the lineman of the Tigers.
It's Tim Moore, I think.
And again, Younger sprints upfield. He'll pick up about from the 37 to the 43, getting 6. Again, going out of bounds, stopping the clock with 5 seconds left. Haven't seen too many times opposing offenses able to pin the Rougher defender to the ground and hold him there. 4th and 2 for the Tigers, have to go to the 45. The play clock down to 7, now down to 6. As Younger will step into his backfield with Spar on his hip. They'll hand it off to Spar, going left side, has the first down and extra as he fights for the yardage out to the midfield stripe. And that's where the third quarter will come to a close. 3 quarters played, 12 minutes remain tonight here on Hall of Fame Night at Ruffer Village. It's Muskogee 41, Tahlequah 13. We're back in 60 seconds on Ruffer Football 2022. Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
$30 cash for a total of $2,530.
Bill Olson, Nick Hampton with you back here at Hall of Fame Night at Ruffer Village. As play resumes, Tahlequah will have the football on a 1st and 10 from the midfield stripe. Just got to give a real pat on the back to the Muskogee High School student organizations. It's just been a total change of effort, school spirit, raging like an inferno, burning brightly. Well, there's just a never-ending energy level.
Yeah.
1st and 10 from the midfield stripe. Younger handing it off. This is Munoz running right side, tries to cut back to the middle of the turf and gets knocked off his feet at the 46-yard line. A gain of 4 on the first down carry. Don't forget, for the upcoming holidays, they need to spruce your place up a bit, maybe trim the trees, maybe clean the gutters, or hang the Christmas lights. The people to call is Antonio Zapata and Zapata Lawn and Tree Service. Look them up on Facebook or give them a call to bring them out to your house. They'll do a great job for you. Zapata Lawn and Tree Service, 918-990-0946. Younger this time, going to wait, throw it out in space, off the fingertips of the targeted receiver. That time, which was Braden Worthington, who tried to slip out in space. So that'll leave a 3rd down situation again for the Tigers.
Not a real well-thrown ball that time by Younger as he threw it kind of behind the intended receiver, who had to try and twist around and pick it up.
Clock stopped on the incomplete forward pass. Younger out of the gun with Munoz to his left. Has Cale Matlock as one of the receivers. And Jacob Morrison to the left. Now roll right side. Catch made out by Stop at about the 41 where he's collared.
Well, there's a flag. Boy,
yeah, it's going to be a late block in the back. And then there's another hat that's been tossed up into the air.
It was one of the Tigers that just flattened one of the Ruffers.
Well, the player that got knocked down from behind from Muskogee was Parker Pellet.
And I think Cale Shankle is the guy who did it to him for Tahlequah.
So we'll just let the officials decide which way these.
This again may end up being
yellow laundry will be assessed, but there was also a hat thrown, so that means the same official threw one flag plus his hat up in the air.
This may again end up being an offsetting penalty situation. We'll see. And Mr. Herring will come over and tell us now.
After play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Be 4th down.
So it's after the play, Nick. The gain had gone to the 41-yard line, which would have been short by a yard. But then the 15-yard penalty from the end of the play will move it back across midfield. Just knowing the mental toughness of Brad Gilbert and his staff and the way in which they engineered the Tiger program, that's got to be frustrating.
So punt situation coming for Robinson.
Standing back around the 30. He'll launch one deep. Ruffers will just get out of the way of it and let the ball hop around and drop to a stop at the 21-yard line in Muskogee territory. 10:50 to play tonight here in the fourth. Muskogee with a 41-13 advantage. We'll be back in 1 minute. This is Rougher Football 2022.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
Whether you're shopping for a new Chevrolet
or want to trade and get paid,
power up! It's the Supercharged Sales Event at J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. You know what up to $1,500 more for your trade means?
Supercharged savings.
Shop more new Chevy. Inventory arriving daily.
Don't overpay. Come see Jay.
Get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy now. Supercharged savings powered by J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee.
144 West Shawnee.
Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and the Rougher TV broadcast team bring you the sights and sounds of Rougher football again tonight from Rougher Village. Hall of Fame night, things going quite well. 41-13 Muskogee, looking to go 7-0 for the first time since 2007, the same year that the Roughers and the Tigers last went head-to-head in football play, Nick.
Other district games tonight. Sand Springs easily over Putnam City West, 44-14. Stillwater hammering Bartlesville, 55-7. And as we said, Washington and Grant will play tomorrow night in the city.
41-13 Muskogee. Roughers have all but be up for one play, Nick, have pretty much kept things well in check tonight. That one play being a 94-yard touchdown strike, Younger to Robinson.
And I would think the Roughers now will try to strictly keep it on the ground and move it if they can and eat up some time.
Jamarian Ficklin, the quarterback.
Johnson back in at running back.
Straight back in the pocket, waits, throws the underneath, comeback route to McGee, trying to find a block, breaks out of a tackle. Kane at the 25, the 30 on the boundary, and then shoved out of bounds or close to the boundary out of bounds, but they're going to say he stayed in and fights his way upfield to the 38-yard line. 17 yards on the pass and run, 1 yard after a catch, and a Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Rougher first down at 10.
Nice effort that time by McGee as he broke a couple of big tackles getting those 17 yards.
To the 38-yard line where the Roughers will have the football. Numbers are mounting up statistically tonight for Muskogee's run and pass game.
Puts the passing over 200 yards now tonight.
Bell and Beasley will be the two receivers to the wide side left. McGee comes in motion. They'll pivot, hand the ball off in traffic. This is Latavian Johnson. Steamrolls one tackler, fights his way out across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. LJ's got a little bit more determination in his running, Nick. He's not just trying to do that shake and bake and speed move you. He's lowering his head like a battering ram, running straight upfield for a 9-yard gain.
He is, and that's a nice thing for the Rougher offense to be able to have him in there and not have to use Tolbert quite as much in the running back spot.
So now Jaden Bell will split out as a single receiver to the left side. Trips come to the right, short side. Beasley in motion. Ficklin will again come back, same play. Johnson across midfield into Tiger territory at the 45 and keeping his feet, and in the rugby type scrum will find his way all the way downfield from the 47 in Muskogee territory to the 39 on the opposite end, 14 yards on the gain, and a Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Rougher first down at 10.
Another nice run gives Johnson now 86 yards on the ground for the Roughers.
Muskogee trying to beef up its run game. They'll need it down the playoff stretch for certain. Johnson this time off the right shoulder. They'll counter, hand it off inside again to Johnson. Started left, cut back to the middle of the field. And battles his way downfield to the 35 before his knee goes to the turf. 4 yards. So now in 4 plays, the Ruffers have moved from their 21 to the Tiger 35-yard line. Clock showing 8:50 left to go tonight here at Ruffer Village.
See if the Ruffers now going to start milking that play clock a little bit more and getting it down inside 5 or 6 before they snap it.
Ruffers will go everybody in tight. Quarterback pitch, come back to the near side. This one was kind of bad shape, but guess who's going to make something out of it in a big-time positive way? Andre Beasley.
And that might,
There's a flag down on the play. Actually, a couple of flags down on the effort by Beasley. But
I think they threw a flag on a tackle, and he just horse-collared him and threw him down. Let's see if that's going to be the call.
See which way the officials will.
They call a face mask on that tackle, I think.
Beasley's carry went to the 18-yard line.
So that's 17 yards on that carry.
Tigers have an injured player up the field, and we've got a timeout on the field for an injury. So a timeout on the field, 8:25 to go here in the fourth. Muskogee 41, Tahlequah 13. We're back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2022.
Stop by your local Bravado Wireless store to discover our current plans and promotions.
Well, dude, I didn't see anything.
We're Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Well, during the timeout, the official described the penalty, a personal foul face mask after the 17-yard run by Andre Beasley. Half the distance to the goal line will put it 1st and goal to go on the Kyle Edwards Buick GMC Ruffer first down. At the 9-yard line.
Ruffers started this drive at their own 21. This will be the 6th play of the drive now.
So Beasley and Bell will pair up to the outside left. McGee and Watson will be outside the hash mark to the right. Ficklin and Ruffers move up front. Big Wesley Harvey was ready to chip an outside block on a Tiger defender. That'll back it up 5 from the 9 to the 14.
Penalty number 10 against the Ruffers tonight for 85 yards.
That'll be something they cannot afford to do next Friday night, Nick, in the trip to SC Williams Stadium. Beasley in the slot. Bell has the split in. McGee comes in motion. They'll hand it off on the jet sweep to K-Mac, trying to get into the corner. Stops, cuts inside of a tackle at the 10, on the feet at the 5, lunging for the pylon. I don't know if he got there.
I don't think so, but he did get the first down, or did he? Let's see.
Did he get the touchdown?
Ruffers think so. I haven't seen an official signal yet.
Well, apparently he did.
I guess.
It's a 14-yard run for Caden McGee and a Jayhod Chevrolet Muskogee Ruffer touchdown.
What a great run by McGee. It looked like he was going to be forced out of bounds around the 7 or 8 yard line, and he just tiptoed down that sideline and I guess sneaked it inside the pylon right at the last second.
7:41 left to go here tonight. Muskogee High School Ruffers building on this victory here tonight. Snap is back. The PAT is up, and it's on the money by Darian Armstrong. It's 48-13 Ruffers. We'll return after this timeout. Back in 60 seconds. This is Ruffer Football 2022.
Runt's Barbecue serves up hand-rubbed, slow-cooked goodness. Anytime you're feeding a few hundred, hey, we're just tailgating with friends. Call the experts. Runt's Barbecue. Ribs, brisket, burnt ends, mouth-watering hot link, and smoked chicken. Where everything is made from scratch, from the barbecue sauce to the banana pudding. Give us a try, and you won't be disappointed. Runt's Barbecue. 918-681-3900. Runt's Barbecue. Slow-cooked goodness in Muskogee.
I'm Kyle Edwards for Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and the all-new Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota. With the addition of Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Shakota and Buick GMC in Muskogee, it now gives our customers a great lineup of new makes and models to choose from. We are very proud to bring you a buying experience you won't find anywhere else. If you haven't visited us yet, come give us a chance. You'll like what you see. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Kyle Edwards Buick GMC in Muskogee and Kyle Edwards Auto Group in Shakota.
Muskogee Ruffers used 6 plays to go 79 yards and credit the second effort leap for the pylon by Caden McGee for the rushing touchdown. And the PAT from Armstrong makes it a 48-13 advantage. Ruffers here with 7:41 left to go in the game.
Ruffers approaching 400 yards rushing tonight. So, wow. Go along with the passing, they could have well over 600 yards in offense by the time it's all done.
Ruffers have scored at least 35 points in every game but one. That was the season opening 28-26 win at Enid. 47 against Putnam City, 35 on the road at Carl Albert, 48 against Sand Springs, 61 against Putnam City West 2 weeks ago here, and last week the 66-0 shutout of U.S. Grant. So now Darian Armstrong will kick off. Angling this toward the sideline, fielded by the Tigers at the 21. It's a stop, trying to find an escape route and had no place to go. Ruffers had more than enough green there. And who would be the guy that's downfield? The energetic efforts. I think that's Andre Beasley.
I think it is, yeah. So first down for the Tigers as they'll go from their own 21 to start this series. Trying to find some kind of answer to get some more points on the board if they can.
Muskogee, we mentioned, has Tulsa, Washington next week. Tahlequah will be at home against U.S. Grant. What should be a lopsided affair, Dick. Brody Younger brings the offense to the line of scrimmage. Hands it off up the middle. This is Jordan Spar. Or Darren Spar, excuse me.
Gets a couple of yards up to the 23.
Last time these two teams met back in 2007, Muskogee won that game by a 43-6 final. 48-13 is the tally here tonight. Cale Matlock will be the receiver by himself outside, the numbers to the left. Robinson and a teammate will be to the far right, and there's motion upfield as the snap, I don't think, came off as expected. And that 5-yard penalty will back it up for the Tahlequah Tigers. That'll be another laundry. How many is that tonight? 11?
11 for them, 96 yards.
Just as much as missed tackles and busted plays, Nick. 11 flags, a 5 or 15 variety doesn't really matter. 5, 10, or 15. 11 penalties will
just too many mistakes.
Put you in harm's way for sure. So the 5-yard walk-off moves it back to the 18-yard line. Second down. Spar will take the handoff. He'll run to his right, and he'll run into Deshaun Smith after about a 1-yard pickup upfield to the 19.
So not much there, and they seem to be content to run the ball at this point in time.
Great crowd here tonight on both sides. A good turnout of fans from Tahlequah and a legion of Ruffer supporters here tonight. A lot of those intrigued by the football action, adding to the drama and the passion of tonight's contest, the pageantry, the Hall of Fame performance. Younger rolling to his left. Waits, stands in the pocket, throws underneath, and just threw it right at the feet of his intended receiver, who this time was Cale Matlock.
Younger limping a little bit there after that play.
So that'll force another punting situation for Tahlequah, and Beckett Robinson will go back to work.
Younger kind of hobbles off the field after that play.
Younger played in 5 games a year ago, Nick. Won the quarterback battle in a competition against Cash McElvain. So Robinson will stand near his own goal line to await the snap. It flutters back. He picks it up and just launches a kick upfield. But on a bounce will be fielded by the Ruffers. Jaden Bell trying to find blockers. There's a block in the back. That's an easy call. Just a 2-hand shove, and then Bell goes down right about the same spot, but that's going to back up. As Muskogee's special teams that time didn't do the blocking assignments as you practice them on every day.
Travis Hill is going to be beside himself with all these penalties tonight, I guarantee you.
Move the end of the play from the 43. It's a 10-yard walk-off from the end of the play, so that'll put it back at the 33-yard line. And Nick, when you're a team that's trying to develop a championship mentality as well as your athleticism and your performance, these numbers tonight on flags will just totally incense your coaching staff, much less the head coach.
Well, it hasn't been that big of a problem this year. Now, in past years, flags were pretty consistent against the Ruffers, but so far this year, that hasn't been too much of a problem. But like we've said a couple of times, things just don't quite seem to be in mesh tonight for the Ruffers.
Handoff will go in traffic. Ficklin giving off to Latavian Johnson. He'll get forward progress from the 34 to what we'll call the 37-yard line.
Yeah,
pick up a 3
for Johnson.
Or 4.
Johnson, the workhorse, that's his 15th carry tonight, approaching the 100-yard mark on the ground.
It's been a while since the Ruffers have had a 100-yard rusher in a ball game.
Of course, tonight with Beasley and his efforts, he's not far from 200.
So you've almost got 2 guys over the century mark. Ficklin waits on the snap. Hands off on the jet sweep, coming near side. This is Jaden Bell trying to find a crease, cuts back against the flow. He'll get upfield to about the 41-yard line, but a pretty good
flag on the field.
Pretty good contingent of Tiger defenders, and there's also Laundry once again.
That's against the Ruffers. It's either a hold or a block in the back.
Yeah, that just saw the signal, block in the back. So, it
was a 5-yard. I didn't.
Must have been an illegal motion flag that was thrown.
So
they'll back it up 5 and replay the down. So it'll be 2nd and 12.
And an even 100 yards in penalties against the Ruffers tonight.
Travis Hill may not sleep well if he looks at that stat, despite the fact that his team has improved to 7-0. Jamarian Ficklin with 7 seconds on the play clock, going to have to hustle everybody to the line of scrimmage as it'll be a sprint to the line. Now 2 seconds, 1 second, and Reisenhuber will ask for a timeout. We'll do the same. 4:34 to go tonight here on Hall of Fame night at the Ruffer Village. Muskogee cruising 48-13 over Tahlequah. We're back in 30 seconds on Ruffer Football 2022.
Your injury recovery goals, plus Excel Therapy's expertise, are your winning game plan. At Excel, our #1 goal is to get you back to peak performance as quickly as possible. Our physical therapy and sports medicine professionals will take you from setback to comeback.
Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
Welcome back to Ruffer Village. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and the Ruffer TV crew, as always, giving you the best seat, whether you're in your living room or hanging out with friends, watching on your mobile smart devices, or listening on radio on 101.7 KTFX. 4:34 to play here in the contest. Counter jet sweep, handing off. Wow. The Tigers that time saw it coming, and they punished the Ruffer return man, which that time, I think that's
Rayshawn Ellis, isn't it?
It is Rayshawn Ellis. The loss goes back from the 32 to the 23. A loss of 9 on the play. Ruffers must reach their own 44-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 21. Ficklin out of the gun. The sophomore quarterback out in the flat. Caught at the 20, 25, still on his feet, and finally slammed to the ground up around the 30-yard line. The Muskogee receiver, which, once again, that guy could not tell. Was that Rayshawn Ellis or Caden McGee?
I think it's Swanson, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jaden Swanson making that catch. going from the 23 to the 29, we'll call it, a 5-yard pickup. 4th and 15 for Ficklin as he'll be back in punt formation. Snap back in good shape. Blitz comes up the middle, just a launching kick. Robinson will let it hop. It'll roll inside the 30-yard line. Continue to waddle its way downfield and will be marked at the 25-yard line in Tiger territory. 54-yard kick, no return. Tigers to take over with 3:02 to go tonight here on Hall of Fame night. Nick, we talked about this group of inductees: Alexis Watson, Aubrey Johnson coming out of the softball program, Aaliyah Wilson, of course, the most decorated women's basketball player here ever to play at Muskogee. Heather Davis, another Muskogee Rougher basketballer, who's also got a nice college career going as an assistant coach now at Southwestern. Ray Grandstaff, a former head coach of the Roughers, also a 58 graduate. Lonnie Barker Jr., a part of Rougher Wrestling's storied past. Cameron Curl, who's underway tonight in action at Soldier Field in Chicago as he plays for the Commanders of Washington against the Chicago Bears.
4A scores. Broken Bow still on top of Poto, 28-14 in the fourth quarter. Medill beat Fort Gibson tonight, 58-27, and Hilldale over Salisaw in the final, 49-0.
So there was a penalty flag.
Really, another one?
And it'll put the ball, instead of being at the 25, at the 35. So that's where Tahlequah will start, first down at 10. 3:02 to go in the contest. This one all but done. Cash McIlvain in at quarterback. The ball rolling snap, and it's a loose ball on the turf. McIlvain never got his hands on it. Then his running back had the ball squirt free from him, and Muskogee gets up off the bottom of the pile with the football. Looks like that's Jeremy Collins on the fumble recovery. Officials are trying to determine which way the ball will rest. And I think it's going to stay Tahlequah possession.
How can that?
An inadvertent whistle. And they'll replay the down.
Oh, wow. Okay. Fans not happy about that.
Wow. Well, sometimes you win, sometimes you punt.
Yep. They wind the clock as it ticks inside 3 minutes to play now in the game.
As we mentioned, Cash McIlvain in for Brody Younger. Nick, you mentioned that Younger kind of walked off with a limp that last time he left the playing field. McIlvain will take the snap, handing off to his running back, trying to stretch to the sideline. This time that's Caden Waits. He'll get not quite back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to give forward progress to the 35. So call it no gain. Tigers back at home next week against U.S. Grant. Ruppers perhaps with their biggest test of the year, Nick, and the trip to S.E. Williams against the Hornets of Tulsa, Washington.
Yeah, Washington has really come on the last couple of weeks, and that's definitely going to be an interesting matchup.
So now McIlvain out of the gun. Again, handing off to Waits, who just rumbles straight ahead. We got a lot of twos out there, Nick, right now for both teams. 5-yard pickup. It'll be third and a nickel. And by the time this one is snapped, we'll be under a minute 45 left to go. Muskogee has Jeremy Collins out at one spot.
So after tonight, the Ruffers and Stillwater still
the only
tied
two
for the
unbeaten
district teams. Yeah,
that's exactly right. Choctaw and Deer Creek remaining as the two top teams over in the opposite side. 3rd and 5 for the visiting Tigers. High snap, McIlvain will hand it off to Waits. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped at that point. Good effort that time by the Muskogee defenders.
Clock moving down toward the 1 minute mark now to play. It'll be under a minute when Tahlequah snaps this ball.
Jeremy Collins and Martell Bolden making that last tackle after a 1-yard pickup. So there's probably a chance for maybe one more play here.
Tigers in no hurry to get the snap off. Play clock down inside 10 now.
So McIlvain will put the running back to his left, which on this snap is it's got a little quick kick. I guess that was fourth down.
Yeah.
All right, so the ball upfield rolls inside the 20 to the 17, and with 32 seconds left, the Ruffers will have one snap and step into the 7-0 column for the first time in 15 years. 2007 was the last trip the Ruffers ever advanced this far, still undefeated. As they'll take one snap here and shake hands with the visitors from Cherokee County and extend their series advantage to a 19-5-1 advantage in the 25th meeting between the two schools. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton, and a Ruffer TV crew tonight from Ruffer Village on Hall of Fame night. And the Muskogee Ruffers picking up yet another victory. Ficklin will come in. He'll take one snap, put his knee on the turf, and this one will be done. So the winning continues for the Muskogee Ruffers. And now they'll set their sights on a big road victory next Friday night. Not Thursday, Friday night in the trip to Tulsa, Washington. Final score, Muskogee 48, Tahlequah 13. Back in 3 minutes on Ruffer Football 2022.
Your injury recovery goals, plus Excel Therapy's expertise, are your winning game plan. At Excel, our #1 goal is to get you back to peak performance as quickly as possible. Our physical therapy and sports medicine professionals will take you from setback to comeback.
Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. There's never been a better time to find a great deal on a sedan, truck, or crossover at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com.
Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
It's a time when uncertainty spreads faster than understanding. It's also a time when taking steps to prepare can help us all find a sense of security. At ServPro, helping our nation's homes, businesses, and shared spaces be more clean, be more safe, is why we're here. Here in your community, here to help.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
A game that was perfect for the night. The first meeting between Tahlequah and Muskogee since 2007. The celebration of the class of 2022, the Muskogee Athletic Hall of Fame, And for the first time since 2007, the Ruffers moved to 7-0 with a 48-13 win over the Tahlequah Tigers, who on the year will drop to 2-5 and 1-3 in league play. It started on the first offensive series, and it finished with the second half, albeit for one play, doing exactly what the doctor ordered as Muskogee gets the win 48-13. Bill Huddleston, Nick Hampton here with you from Ruffer Village. Nick, I don't know if you'd call it a Hall of Fame effort, but the final score is really what you wanted.
It really was, and the Ruffers continue their offensive onslaught. I think, we mentioned a couple of times, especially given all the Ruffers had tonight, things just weren't quite in sync. I thought particularly on the defense tonight for the Ruffers, not quite as focused as we've seen the first few games, but nonetheless they got the job done and limited Tahlequah to under 300 yards in total offense. So all in all, a successful outing for the Ruffers.
48-13 the final score. Muskogee scored on its first possession of the game, capping a 10-play, 68-yard drive on the 15-yard touchdown pass. Jamarian Ficklin to Anthony Watson, 7-0. That was with 8:48 to go in the first. Tahlequah answered on a 66-yard drive in 14 plays. Younger to Robinson for the touchdown, but the PAT was off the mark. It was 7-6. Tahlequah then goes the onside kick and gets the scoop. But then after going for it on fourth down on a fake punt and picking it up, had it erased because of a block in the back or a hold. And then on the very next effort, a high snap. The scrambling effort by the Tigers gave Muskogee the football at the 48, and it was one play scoring time for the Muskogee offense tonight. This time, Andre Beasley scampering 52 yards off the right side, racing into the end zone with 11:36 to go before halftime, 14-6. Tahlequah again would move across the 50, but have the drive stall. They would punt the ball away. The Ruffers get 1st and 10 from their own 12 after a 5-yard penalty. Have it 1st and 15 from the 7. Again, it's the one-and-done effort of the Muskogee offense. Andre Beasley on a 93-yard cross-country jump. That made the score 21-6. Ruffers went on to lead it 28-6 when Jamarian Ficklin ran it in from 6 yards out following a interception by Bolden. And then in the second half, Tahlequah takes its first possession, goes 3 and out. Ruffers start from their 24. 5 plays later, 76 yards cross country. Tolbert on a receiving end of a pass and run from Jamarian Ficklin to make it 34-6. Moving into the latter part of the third quarter, Tahlequah starting from its own 6 would have a one-play drive that would not take long because Younger found a wide open Beckett Robinson, and Robinson would scamper 94 yards to make it 34-13. But then once again, the Ruffers answered the challenge to the Tigers. Starting from their 33, they go downfield, and another Ficklin to Tolbert 18-yard bumper pool type scoring toss, making it 41-13. Ruffers would add another 14-yard run by Caden McGee to give us the final score tonight here, 48-13, and Muskogee, Nick, improves to a perfect 7-0.
Looking at the stats in tonight's game, the Ruffers rushed 30 times tonight for 375 yards, 14 of 20 passing for Ficklin for another 206, and so the Ruffers tonight 581 yards in total offense, 13 flags though for 110 yards. Will not be a happy conversation with Travis Hill in the locker room. And let's see, Beasley, 4 carries tonight, 174 yards. He had those 2 big long scampers in the first half, which really kind of set things up for him as they ran the 2 long runs of 52 and 93 yards for the score. So he had 174 yards. Bell, the leading receiver, with 4 catches for 61 yards. For Tahlequah, they rushed the ball 34 times tonight for 128 yards. Brody Younger, 7 of 19 passing for 159, so 287 yards in offense for the Tahlequah Tigers. They were penalized 11 times tonight for 96 yards, so neither coach going to be real happy with that.
Final score 48-13, Muskogee with the win. We'll come back with our Buffalo Wild Wings Player of the Game selection. That after this 60-second timeout of Ruffer Football 2022.
Whether you're shopping for a new Chevrolet
or want to trade and get paid,
power up. It's the supercharged sales event at J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee. You know what up to $1,500 more for your trade means?
Supercharged savings.
Shop more new Chevy. Inventory arriving daily.
Don't overpay. Come see Jay.
Get a trade-in bonus up to $1,500 when you buy now. Supercharged savings powered by J. Hodge Chevrolet in Muskogee.
144 West Shawnee.
Stop by your local Bravado Wireless store to discover our current plans and promotions.
Well, dude, I didn't see anything.
We're Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Back at Rougher Village, the game is all but done. Nick Hampton, Bill Huddleston, the Rougher TV crew, 48-13, Nick Hampton. Offensive success, defense pretty much a good second half for sure.
For sure, yeah.
And the penalties, of course, being the only
downside
red check
for the
on
Ruffers,
that scorecard. But when it's all said and done, you're glad to be 4-0 in league play and get your max 15 points. So after tonight's outcomes, Muskogee and Stillwater will still be the only two unbeaten teams in the league, each with 4-0 marks, each with 60 max points. Tulsa, Washington, of course, will have to wait until tomorrow night, but it's much expected they'll have their way with U.S. Grant, and that would put them at 3-1. Bartlesville is at 2-2 after tonight's loss. Sand Springs with the win improves to 2-2. Tahlequah drops to 1-3. Grant will wait, but they'll more than likely be 0-4 along with PC West next after this week of action. And the Muskogee Ruffers will set their sights on next week's encounter at S.E. Williams Stadium against Booker T. Washington. But now, Nick, it's time to count the ballots, and there's a few guys on the offensive side you could put in there, but I think there's one that perhaps stands out among all. That's the one-play man, Andre Beasley.
Beasley, with those two big runs, really set the tone tonight for the Ruffers offensively. He ends up with 174 yards rushing tonight, by far the best ground game for an individual that we've seen for the Ruffers in some time. And so I go with Beasley on the offense.
I'll agree with you 100%. Now, you said you had kind of an interesting aspect, a viewpoint, to talk about our Ruffer defensive player of the game.
Well, we talked about the defense, and there really wasn't a standout person or persons, I didn't feel like, on the defense tonight. So I looked back and I looked at the game, and it was 21-6. The Ruffers were on top, and Tahlequah was driving to close the gap on the play. They got the ball down to the 25, and then as the younger tried to pass it toward the end zone, Martell Bolden went up and made a one-hand spear of the interception, pulled it down, stopped that drive. Ruffers went on to score again after that, and then Tahlequah never got inside the 20 in the second half. And so that was really kind of a momentum changer for the defense for the Ruffers, that Martell Bolden interception.
So our defensive player of the game will be Martell Bolden. Andre Beasley will get the offensive award, but most importantly, the team gets the biggest reward. That's a 7-0 start with a 48-13 final score tonight here at Rougher Village. Don't forget, Rougher Coaches Show next Tuesday night from Ron's Barbecue at 6:30, and then the game 1 week from tomorrow night. It says on your schedule Thursday, but it is a Friday night game at S.E. Williams Stadium in Tulsa, Muskogee, and Booker T. Washington. It'll be a heck of a contest, as it always is when these two teams square off. That'll be a 7 p.m. kickoff next Friday night. For all of us here at Rougher Village, it's been a Hall of Fame night of celebration as the Muskogee Ruffers get the win 48-13. For all of us on Rougher TV, I'm Bill Huddleston saying so long, and remember,